Important update about YouTube playlists. Hey everyone. We've received many messages asking why our YouTube playlists aren't showing up. Do we create YouTube playlists? Yes, we absolutely do. So why can't you see them? Honestly, we're not sure. We've been in contact with YouTube support for several months now, but we still haven't received a clear answer or solution. After much discussion, our team has decided to take matters into our own hands. We believe the issue might be related to the number of playlists we've created on a single channel, possibly too many. Our solution? We're launching 2 additional YouTube channels, giving us a total of 3. This way, we can organize our audiobooks better and avoid the playlist visibility issue in the future. This change only affects our YouTube audience. If you're a patron supporter, you can still access all our audiobooks by visiting the collection menu on Patreon. Thanks so much for your time and continued support. Happy listening, Gorara. Getting a bit accustomed to the local customs, huh? Whitebeard laughed heartily without a care. He held a Mangekyo Sharingan in one hand and Murakamagiri in the other, and left the place after turning his head. Not long after, Whitebeard gathered together with Kisame, Naruto, and other silly sons. Pops! Naruto shouted in surprise, running hurriedly to Whitebeard's feet. He first carefully checked Whitebeard's body, then heaved a sigh of relief. As expected, Pops wasn't injured. That guy could never hurt Pops. Bang! A flick from Whitebeard directly sent Naruto flying, causing Naruto to roll on the ground for more than a dozen rounds, and heavily hit a broken tree stump. Ouch! Naruto covered his forehead, his tears were about to come out from the pain. Silly son, do you think I would capsize in the gutter when dealing with such a despicable little brat? Whitebeard grinned and said. This kind of thing won't happen a second time. The first time was during the Summit War, when that bastard Sengoku played a trick, and he fell for it. With the lesson brought by that old opponent, Whitebeard would never step into the same pit twice. Keeping observation hockey tense at all times is a must. Just then, a hesitant voice sounded from one side. Whitebeard. May I ask? Is Obito? Whitebeard glanced and found that it was the little brat called Nohara Rin. This little brat has been summoning, impure world reincarnation again. When Whitebeard saw Nohara Rin, he felt a bit of regret in his heart. If he had Ace's body parts when he came to the ninja world, it would be good. Maybe, in the ninja world, he could summoning, impure world reincarnation Ace. And Thatch. The 4th Division captain of the Whitebeard Pirates, who once died in the hands of Blackbeard Teach. If one day he could return to the sea, Whitebeard would definitely want to dig up his son's grave and let him live again in the form of summoning, impure world reincarnation. He's dead. In response to Nohara Rin's cautious question, Whitebeard's answer was very straightforward. Rin was stunned in place. After a long time, she sighed. Perhaps for Obito, this is his best ending. At least he will never become that unfamiliar look again. Maybe, when I return to the underworld, I can see him again. Nohara Rin's tone was a bit low. Which is normal. After all, when Rin died, the Obito Uchiha in her memory was still that naive boy. Who would have thought that in less than 10 years, Obito has become like this? Suddenly, a hand was placed on Rin's shoulder. It turned out that Kakashi came out from the Kamui space, and he also brought 4 little devils from Hidden Leaf Village. Rin, are you okay? Kakashi forcibly suppressed the complex emotions in his heart. His feelings for Obito were similar to Rin's. He thought his best friend was dead, but found out that he was still alive. And watched his best friend go astray, and then had to treat him as an enemy. In the end, he had to cooperate with the family members of the Whitebeard Pirates to completely kill his former best friend, so that he would not continue to do wrong. From the beginning to now, Kakashi has always been tormented by the struggle in his heart. Fortunately, he is already an adult and can handle his negative emotions well. But Nohara Rin was different, not counting the time she was dead. Nohara Rin was only 13 years old. The voice from Kakashi made Rin's tightly strung emotions completely break. Rin wanted to cry, but the body of summoning, impure world reincarnation didn't allow her to shed a single tear. She turned around and threw herself directly into Kakashi's arms. She buried her head deeply into Kakashi's chest, her hands tightly gripping Kakashi's arms, pinching Kakashi's skin red. Everything is over. Obito has paid the price for all the wrong things he has done. Kakashi sighed and said. Yes. Rin's emotions finally calmed down. She suddenly realized that her actions with Kakashi seemed a bit too intimate. Rin quickly let go of her hand, hurriedly took a step back and pretended as if nothing had happened. She felt her face was a bit hot, but this body of summoning, impure world reincarnation, it shouldn't be noticeable by others, right? At this time, Whitebeard suddenly threw a small object towards Kakashi. Stupid son, how long do you want to hug your little lover? This is a small gift from me. Kakashi hurriedly caught the small object. He originally wanted to quickly explain that his relationship with Rin was not that complicated. But the next second his attention was attracted by the object in his hand. What is this? Kakashi was shocked. This is a Mangekyo Sharingan. Pops, is this I? Gorara, it's the eye of that despicable brat. I picked it up, just to make a pair for you. Whitebeard laughed heartily. Eh? Is it Obito Uchiha's Mangekyo Sharingan? Naruto curiously came over with his forehead covered, tiptoed and took a look. Then, Naruto said to Sasuke, the eyes of your Uchiha clan are so strange, pull them out, put them in, and they can be used. Sasuke hummed lightly. He proudly said, this is the KK Genkai of the Uchiha clan, how could a big idiot like you understand? Sasuke was a bit envious of this eye, but he didn't have any covetous thoughts. In Sasuke's heart, sooner or later, he will also awaken his own Mangekyo Sharingan. By then, he will use his awakened eyes to personally kill Itachi Uchiha. Konan watched this scene, wanted to say something, but after thinking about it, she finally chose to shut up. She actually didn't want to see the Whitebeard pirates becoming more and more powerful. But the question is, can such words really be said? And that eye is indeed a trophy of the Whitebeard pirates. Kakashi was looking at the Mangekyo Sharingan lying in his palm, lost in thought. Then, he took a deep breath and said to Rin in front of him, Rin, please help me transplant this eye. Kakashi's left eye Mangekyo Sharingan was transplanted by Nohara Rin in the first place. Now, Kakashi wants to transplant Obito's right eye Sharingan to his own right eye. Although Kakashi is not from the Uchiha clan and cannot freely open or close the Sharingan, with the 8 tails Chuki in his body, Kakashi is not short of chakra. Even if these 2 eyes are open 24 hours a day, it's not a big deal for Kakashi. Chakra is no longer Kakashi's weakness. Okay. Rin agreed. She took less than 3 minutes to transplant a Mangekyo Sharingan into Kakashi. And in Rin's hand, lay Kakashi's normal eye. Kakashi didn't feel any discomfort in his right eye. It must be said, Rin's medical ninja talent is indeed very impressive. When Kakashi slowly opened his eyes, both eyes were 3 Tomoe Sharingan. When he activated the pupil power of the Sharingan, the shape of the 2-3 Tomoe Sharingan began to change and metamorphose into Mangekyo Sharingan. At this point, Kakashi had obtained the double eye Kami. Ha! Kisame said to Kakashi with interest, Kakashi, I heard from Shizue that if you have 2 Mangekyo Sharingan, you can have the key to activate Susanoo. You should try it. See what your Susanoo looks like. Izumi Uchiha stroked her smooth chin. Can Kakashi-senpai, who doesn't have our Uchiha clan's bloodline, also activate Susanoo? Shizue pondered and analyzed. The probability is high. After all, Denzo can use the Uchiha clan's secret technique Izanagi. This shows that Uchiha's secret techniques are not bloodline restricted. Susanoo? Is it the kind of super big green skeleton that Shizue used before? Naruto was also curious. Being stared at by a group of people, Kakashi was a bit embarrassed. He scratched his head and said, I don't know if I can do it, then I will. Try it first. Kakashi was also somewhat expectant. He knew how powerful Susanoo was. He voluntarily walked to an open space in front. From his own chakra, as well as from Juki's chakra, plus the pupil power of the Mangekyo Sharingan, the 3 powers converged together. At this moment, Kakashi felt a very strange feeling. As if he was holding a key in his hand. He only needed to poke the key into a keyhole in front of him, and he could easily open a brand new door. Kakashi almost instinctively opened his mouth and shouted, Susanoo. Instantly, blue chakra enveloped Kakashi's body, and pieces of bones began to build around Kakashi. Each piece of bone was very large, and in less than 10 seconds, a half-body blue skeleton appeared above Kakashi. The blue half-body skeleton was more than 10 meters high, but its transformation did not stop there. The lower half of the skeleton also began to slowly appear, and the upper half of the skeleton also began to grow larger and larger. Kakashi could feel the pupil power of his eyes rapidly consuming, and 2 streams of blood slowly flowed out from his eye sockets. The chakra aspect also began to consume heavily, but fortunately, there was the 8 tails backing him up, so it wouldn't drain his chakra. Everyone watched as this huge blue skeleton grew from a height of more than 10 meters to 30 meters, 70 meters, 90 meters, 120 meters, 150 meters. The body of the skeleton also appeared a structure similar to flesh. Above the flesh, armor structure began to appear. Kakashi's body slowly floated up until it landed in the center of Susanoo's forehead. It was also at this moment that Kakashi's Susanoo was fully formed. And, this is the complete body of Susanoo. The height reached more than 180 meters. Like a blue giant that could support the sky, it stood quietly here, emitting an unparalleled deterrence all over. Huff, huff, huff. This move, it's not an ordinary consumption of physical strength and pupil power. Kakashi felt a sense of fatigue all over his body. But he also felt that he was controlling a power that was incredibly strong. At this height, he could overlook the crowd below, and even the distant scenery. Kakashi tried to control Susanoo, and found that this blue giant. It really moved with his thoughts. This power. It's terrifying. Kakashi was at a loss for words, he could only describe it as terrifying. But when he looked around, looking at the devastated forest, the inflated thoughts in Kakashi's mind were instantly punctured. Because he felt that even if he was controlling Susanoo, he couldn't cause such astonishing destruction in one blow. No matter how powerful Susanoo is, it might just be a big sandbag in front of Pops. After Kakashi gathered his thoughts, he took back Susanoo. His body also gradually landed on the ground. But before he could stand firm, his legs softened and he knelt on one knee. Kakashi, are you okay? Rin hurried over to help. Only to find that there was too much difference in height between the two, she couldn't help him up. I'm fine. Kakashi smiled bitterly, I just feel that, in the future, I need to exercise my body well. Whitebeard laughed heartily, Gorara, finally there is a stupid son who has the power to stand alone. Whitebeard laughed very happily. Because the moment Susanoo appeared, Whitebeard could feel how powerful that big guy was. This kind of power, even if it is put on the sea. Kakashi could go and challenge those top figures on the sea. Is Kakashi-senpai's current strength comparable to the third Hokage? Izumi Uchiha was amazed. Or, is it even more powerful than the third Hokage? Izumi Uchiha began to daydream, if she could awaken Mengekyo Sharingan one day in the future. What would her eye technique be? Could her Susanoo be as big as Kakashi-senpai's? Chapter 298, Black Zetsu's Confusion. The Moon's Eye Plan Changes. New Tool Person Candidate. You have achieved your goal, you have used our Whitebeard pirates through intelligence trading, and cleared a troublesome person in your organization. Kisame looked at the silent Conan next to him and said, TSK, so what are your plans next? Is it to continue to stay in our Whitebeard pirates, continue to be a bright and upright undercover? Or leave today? Kisame carried Samada on his shoulder, and he grinned. Don't worry, without Pop's instructions, we won't do anything to you. Anyway, your intelligence has indeed allowed us Whitebeard pirates to kill a disgusting and troublesome guy. Kisame's words made Conan fall into thought. During the short time she stayed in the Whitebeard pirates, Conan had achieved two goals. The first goal was to use the power of the Whitebeard pirates to kill Obito Uchiha, an unstable factor. The second goal was to infiltrate the Whitebeard pirates and grasp the information about the Whitebeard pirates. Now Conan does have a lot of intelligence in her hands, and the intelligence is all about various details of the pirate group. Under this circumstance, she can indeed choose to leave. She can also formulate a plan to counter the Whitebeard pirates based on the intelligence she has. And with Whitebeard's extremely heroic character, he would definitely not force her to stay. But after thinking carefully for a while, Conan still made this response, as long as I don't betray the Whitebeard pirates, then I can always stay in the pirate group, I can always be a member of the Whitebeard pirates, isn't that right? Hearing this, Kisame's smile was somewhat intriguing. It seems you still want to get some information from us. Conan neither admitted nor denied it. In fact, Kisame only guessed one layer of it. The deeper meaning of Conan is that she is somewhat hesitant. Because she found that everything the Whitebeard pirates did seemed to have no major conflict with their Akatsuki organization. The Whitebeard pirates are indeed collecting tailed beasts, but their purpose of collecting tailed beasts is completely different from the Akatsuki organization. They just want to have the power to protect their own family. Conan can't find fault with such a reason and purpose. What surprised Conan even more was such a huge organization as the Whitebeard pirates, they didn't show any ambition at all. You know, these are a group of pirates. As a result, these pirates are not as ambitious as their Akatsuki organization. This made Conan start to fall into contemplation. The Akatsuki organization always feels that they are standing on the opposite side of the Whitebeard pirates. Is it a bit self-conscious? Everything the Whitebeard pirates did was not deliberately aimed at the Akatsuki organization, everything was just a coincidence. But it happens that their Akatsuki organization is very eager to get the nine-tailed beasts in order to achieve their once-set dreams and goals. Such a contradiction, such a hesitation, made Conan unsure how to choose. In the end, she chose to continue to stay with the Whitebeard pirates. She wants to understand the ideals of the Whitebeard pirates and their core goals more. And, her existence may also become a bond between the two parties. Once a fierce conflict occurs between the two parties, this special bond of hers may play a certain role. In this way, Whitebeard and others, including Conan, began to return to Moby Dick one after another. Of course, Haruno Sakura, Narashikimaru, Akimeki Chaji, Rock Lee. These 4 unlucky little devils were also brought over by them. Dobi, this special prisoner, was also brought back. On Moby Dick, the moment she saw Haruno Sakura, she rushed towards Sakura in a hurry, and tightly hugged Sakura in her arms. Sakura! Sakura! How could you be so careless? Do you know how worried I am? The 2 little girls clung to each other, and Sakura was almost out of breath by Ino. Loosen. Loosen up. Sakura blushed with an embarrassed little face, and said hard, Stupid Ino, your strength is too great. Eh? Is it? Ino hurriedly let go of her hand. Sakura was finally able to breathe freely. Looking at her good girlfriend in front of her, Sakura's face was somewhat complicated. I didn't expect you to be so brave, you actually left the village on your own. Ino giggled, this is the power of love. She frankly admitted that her purpose of joining the Whitebeard pirates was to pursue Hiku. Speaking of which, how long have you not taken a bath? Ino put her head on Sakura's body and sniffed lightly. Sakura complained, since I was caught, I haven't taken a bath once. Hearing this, Ino didn't care whether Sakura was dirty or not. She grabbed Sakura's little hand and said excitedly, let's go, I'll take you to see the women's bath on the Moby Dick. Let me give you a good scrub. On the side. Tsunade gently kicked Narashikimaru who was unconscious on the ground. Isn't his the son of that kid Narashikaku? What happened? Kakashi explained. Tsunade-sama, these 3 children have all been stimulated by Obito's Sharingan Genjutsu, and they may need your treatment. TSK. These little brats are quite unlucky. Tsunade said to Shizune. Shizune, take the 3 of them to the medical room. Shizune replied seriously. Yes, Tsunade-sama. By the way, Tsunade-sama. Kakashi suddenly remembered something, he said. We also caught a rather special guy, I think you would be quite interested, Tsunade-sama. Oh? Tsunade paused her steps. Kakashi went over and picked up Tobi, who was only half a body left. He placed the immobile Tobi at Tsunade's feet. Tsunade curiously looked at Tobi's body cross-section. This guy's body. It looks like the body structure of that strange creature. The strange creature Tsunade was referring to was a white Zetsu clone caught by the Whitebeard pirates. At present, that white Zetsu clone has almost been thoroughly researched by her and Orochimaru. This person is also a member of the Akatsuki, and he is also Obito's partner. Kakashi said. He can use wood style, a very powerful wood style. Interesting. Tsunade said to the busy Shizune. Shizune, drag him to the laboratory later, throw him to Orochimaru, and see what new gains can be made. Shizune, who was carrying Shikimaru in one hand and struggling to carry Traji in the other, could only hurriedly nod her head. Obi couldn't help but shiver. He had a bad feeling. On the other side. Akatsuki. Nagato sat in a wheelchair, with no one around him. He silently looked at the pouring rain in the sky, and sighed softly. Madara Uchiha. Is Obito Uchiha, indeed? That guy, he is not Madara Uchiha. What Nagato didn't expect was that Konan actually made such a bold move. And Konan's bold move actually succeeded. Yes, Nagato didn't know about Konan's decision at first, and he didn't know that Konan wanted to kill Obito Uchiha. All of this was Konan's unilateral decision. However, as the nominal second person in the Akatsuki, Nagato generally supports the decisions Konan makes. And Nagato felt that Konan's unilateral decision this time was not wrong. All the actions of Obito Uchiha seriously threatened the Akatsuki. Plus, Obito Uchiha had been deceiving them with a false identity from the beginning. This made Nagato have to doubt, was everything Obito had told them all part of some other plot? Did the other party want to use the Akatsuki to achieve some unspeakable purpose? Has the Akatsuki been used by the other party all these years? Including whether he and Konan are all pawns of the other party? Thinking of this, Nagato frowned. The feeling of being played in the palm of someone's hand made Nagato feel very uncomfortable. He rubbed the armrest of the wheelchair and murmured. It's a pity that the Whitebeard pirates killed him too decisively, and didn't knock out useful information from that Obito Uchiha. At this moment, Nagato was even more doubtful, were the goals and dreams that the Akatsuki had been adhering to all along also under Obito's control? Because the planning and persistence of the Akatsuki over the years were basically involved and proposed by Obito. Including what Nagato now wants to do, let the ninja world feel pain, was also inspired by some of Obito's words. Nagato was a bit at a loss. He felt that if Konan was by his side, she would definitely be able to answer his doubts. But Konan was not there. Wait. Nagato suddenly remembered that there was another person in the organization. He had a deep relationship with Obito Uchiha. In the Akatsuki organization, besides Nagato knowing about Obito's death, Zetsu also knew. In the Akatsuki organization, there are 3 special characters. Obito, Dobi, Zetsu, these three have always been in cahoots. This is definitely the biggest surprise. Dobi actually didn't keep an eye on Obito. Trouble, trouble. Zetsu's image is a body of black and white, and high shoulders like a pitcher plant. In fact, he is black Zetsu attached to white Zetsu. Black Zetsu has a bit of a headache, his thoughts are almost exploding. This is something he didn't think of, and didn't predict. He had already warned Obito not to provoke the Whitebeard pirates in recent days. But Obito seemed to ignore his warning and still provoked Whitebeard. Now it's good, Obito was directly killed. The plan to resurrect the mother, one of the most important pieces, is gone. Black Zetsu's thoughts are as chaotic as floating willow catkins. He is trying to think of some way to make up for it. After all, people are already dead. Even if he curses Obito as a waste in his heart, it's no use. We need to find a substitute for Obito. Black Zetsu immediately thought of several suitable candidates. Itachi Uchiha, Shizue Uchiha, Izumi Uchiha, Sasuke Uchiha. Yes. The substitutes for Obito he can think of are all from the Uchiha clan. Because only the Mangekyo Sharingan of the Uchiha clan has the chance to capture the nine-tailed beasts relatively easily. Black Zetsu's purpose from beginning to end is consistent, he just wants to save his mother. His plan is not complicated. By implementing the Moon's Eye plan, to resurrect his mother, to create favorable conditions. The Moon's Eye plan needs to use Jidomazo. This point Black Zetsu has already used Madara Uchiha, to summon Jidomazo. But if you want to resurrect Jidomazo, you need the power of the nine-tailed beasts, but at that time, Madara no longer had the power to capture the tailed beasts. Obito Uchiha, this little kid who is easy to deceive, became the second person Black Zetsu wanted to use. Black Zetsu originally wanted to use Obito and the Akatsuki organization to capture the tailed beasts and resurrect Jidomazo, and finally completely drain the use value of Obito Uchiha, so that he could resurrect his mother. If this road doesn't work, then he can also use Obito to resurrect Madara Uchiha, and let Madara Uchiha complete his plan. Anyway, all this shows Obito is a very important part of Black Zetsu's plan, second only to Madara Uchiha. But now, a very important part has been killed by Whitebeard. Shizue Uchiha, Izumi Uchiha, Sasuke Uchiha all have the potential to be pawns, but they are all from the Whitebeard pirates. Black Zetsu put aside the bad mood brought about by Obito's death. After all, he has failed too many times over the years. Get used to it. Black Zetsu pondered and murmured, in this way. There is only one Itachi Uchiha left. Relying on Itachi Uchiha and the Akatsuki organization to capture all the tailed beasts, to resurrect Jidomazo and summon the Ten Tails, then let Nagato use the reincarnation technique to resurrect Madara Uchiha, and let Madara Uchiha absorb the Ten Tails and open the infinite Tsukami. Soon. Black Zetsu figured out a new plan. The overall direction of the plan has not changed, it's exactly the same as before, the only change is the replacement of the pieces inside. But this time, Black Zetsu's worries have not dissipated. If the Whitebeard pirates can unexpectedly thwart his plan once, will there be a second time? Or a third time? Even a fourth time? And, how did the Whitebeard pirates know Obito's location? Recently in the Akatsuki, Conan has disappeared. Is there any connection between the two? For the first time, Black Zetsu discovered that uncontrollable factors have appeared in the plan. All of this originates from the Whitebeard pirates. Where did this pirate group come from? I've never heard of its existence for thousands of years. Black Zetsu realized that he might need to think about other plans to curb the reckless Whitebeard pirates. On the other hand, the Whitebeard pirates that Black Zetsu keeps talking about, the Moby Dick has now turned around. Because they are going to capture the remaining few tailed beasts in the ninja world. Gorrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrr tailed beast? My little ones. What are you hesitating for? Set sail. Set off. The target is the tailed beast of Hidden Waterfall Village. Gorara. The huge Moby Dick. Started to move. Chapter 299, Obito's Relic. Whitebeard. Has become stronger. Ever since Kakashi had the double Kami, he has been trying to explore the Kami space. Because in Kakashi's memory, Obito has always been taking weapons out of the Kami space to fight. This means that there are things left by Obito in the Kami space. Or to say, Obito stored some important things in the Kami space. Although the Kami space is now a ruin, as long as Kakashi searches patiently, he has found quite a few special things. These eyes should all be from Uchiha clan. Kakashi took out a scroll, which he found in a hidden place in the Kami space. He had already opened the scroll in the Kami space, and it was not a scroll that stored ninjutsu traps. What was sealed in this scroll were the eyes of the Uchiha clan. And not just one eye, Not even just one pair of eyes. Looking at Kakashi in front of her, Izumi Uchiha was slightly stunned. She took the scroll handed over by Kakashi. The eyes of our clan? Kakashi explained. Do you remember the genocide of the Uchiha clan before? Obito also participated in that genocide. And after that genocide, Hidden Leaf Village found that the eyes of many dead Uchiha clan members were dug out by someone. If I'm not mistaken, the person who dug out the eyes of those corpses is Obito. He collected all the eyes of the Uchiha clan. I don't know exactly what he wanted to do. Anyway, I found these eyes. Kakashi's explanation made Izumi Uchiha widen her eyes. Izumi Uchiha stared at the scroll in her hand incredulously, her fair palms trembling slightly. So you mean? Kakashi nodded and responded. This can be considered as part of the remains of the deceased people of the Uchiha clan. Izumi Uchiha took a deep breath, trying to calm her thoughts. She didn't hesitate, directly opened the scroll, bit her thumb, and drew a bloodline on the scroll. Izumi Uchiha placed the scroll on the ground and slapped it heavily with both palms. With a muffled bang, a puff of white smoke enveloped the surroundings. When the smoke cleared, a dense array of sealed glass test tubes appeared in front of Izumi Uchiha. You can see that each test tube contains a Sharingan, all of which are soaked in a special liquid. It seems that this liquid has the effect of preserving the Sharingan, allowing the Sharingan to not rot for nearly a year. The lifelike Sharingan did not surprise Izumi Uchiha. On the contrary, it made her eyes flash with a bit of gloom. Killing him, it's really cheap for him. Izumi Uchiha gritted her teeth, almost biting her silver teeth. In here, there are many eyes of clan members who have not awakened Sharingan. Yes, in addition to the pairs of crimson and weird Sharingan, there are also many normal black eyes. Obviously, these ordinary eyes are the eyes of ordinary people in the Uchiha clan, but these eyes were still dug out by Obito Uchiha. What kind of beast would do such a thing? You know, that guy is also surnamed Uchiha. How could he bear to do it to the ordinary people of the Uchiha clan who are defenseless? And how could he bear to dig out the eyes on their bodies and not even leave their bodies? Although I know it's not appropriate to say this. But I think you can make good use of these eyes. Kakashi pondered for a while and said, the method of opening the eyes of the Uchiha clan is too extreme. It requires strong emotional stimulation to open the eyes. A person, once he has experienced strong emotional stimulation, he may go to extremes. In this case, it may be more appropriate to directly transplant existing eyes to them. Kakashi knew that his words, said to a person of the Uchiha clan, were indeed a bit too cold-blooded. But he just made a feasible good suggestion. If Izumi Uchiha doesn't accept doing this, it's okay. Huh. Izumi Uchiha let out a sigh of relief. She said, Kakashi-senpai is right, these eyes can indeed be used properly. Izumi Uchiha is still very calm. Moreover, the eyes of the dead clan members were dug out by a beast, and now these eyes have returned to the hands of the Uchiha clan by chance. Does this mean? In the underworld, the clan members are pulling the strings of fate? In the dark, maybe this is a destiny. The dead clan members may know that the Uchiha clan has not been completely wiped out. They may want the remaining Uchiha clan in the ninja world to stand firm with these eyes. They may also want us to use their eyes to establish a stronger Uchiha clan than before. Izumi Uchiha said so seriously. Of course, she won't just transplant these eyes to the survivors of the Uchiha clan. They must at least know some basic ninjutsu, basic taijutsu, to be eligible to transplant the existing Sharingan. On the other side, my head hurts so much. Shikamaru woke up in a daze, feeling that he had a very long nightmare, which lasted for several days. Shikamaru, who had just woken up, felt a prick in his arm. He tried hard to open his eyes, then shifted his gaze, and glanced at the back of his hand with the corner of his eye. He quickly found out in astonishment that there were 2 infusion needles inserted in the back of his hand. At this moment, Shikamaru instantly remembered what he had experienced before. His pupils contracted sharply, and he hurriedly sat up from the sickbed. He looked around with an alert and anxious gaze. This doesn't seem to be that prison. Shikamaru was taken aback. Has the place of detention been moved? Soon he found that there were 2 more beds next to him. There were also people lying on those 2 beds. Upon closer inspection, Shikamaru was quite shocked. Chaji? Lee? Seeing that the 2 of them were still breathing normally, Shikamaru breathed a sigh of relief. He leaned against the wall and analyzed calmly. All 3 of us are here, and we haven't been killed by that mysterious person. Which means we still have value to him. Sakura is not here, which means she has probably escaped from his clutches. Our plan has been half successful. Shikamaru's mouth curled up. She's quite capable. After all, whether she can escape or not determines the success rate of this plan. Creak suddenly, The doorknob of the ward turned slightly. Scared, Shikamaru quickly crawled into the quilt on the bed, pretending that he hadn't woken up yet. He quickly closed his eyes and tried hard to maintain a steady breathing. These three little guys have been in a coma for 4 days, haven't they woken up yet? That Obito Uchiha is really too much, using such a high-level Genjutsu on these children. Shikamaru heard a woman's voice. She sounded quite young, probably not more than 20 years old. Is she a companion of that mysterious person? Is that mysterious person called Obito Uchiha? Uchiha. Why would it be this surname? Hee. It's quite simple to wake them up. If you transplant some cells from that special creature into them, they will have a lot of vitality, maybe they will wake up. This voice sounded like a middle-aged man's voice. Shikamaru didn't know if it was his illusion, but he always felt that this man's voice had a strange sense of evil. And this man's voice was a bit neutral, he always felt like a woman, pretending to be a man talking. No. Shizune shook her head like a rattle drum, and then stared at Orochimaru warily. You absolutely cannot do human experiments on these children. Tsunade-sama asked me to keep an eye on you, you can't mess around. Orochimaru's mouth curled up. Shizune, if I mess around, can you stop me? After saying that, Orochimaru slowly walked to the side of Shikamaru's bed, and said with a playful tone, TSK, this little guy has already woken up, and you didn't even notice. Eh? Shizune was surprised. Has he woken up? Shikamaru, who was discovered, knew that he couldn't pretend anymore. He opened his eyes with mixed feelings, and then slowly sat up. Just as he was about to say something, the two people in front of him made Shikamaru freeze on the spot. Or to say, it was because he recognized Orochimaru. Orochimaru is a S-rank rogue ninja from Hidden Leaf Village, and he also caused some destruction in Hidden Leaf Village a while ago. Shikamaru had seen Orochimaru's portrait by chance. The person who appeared in front of him, that face was exactly the same as the Sannin Orochimaru. But why is the other party's chest so exaggerated? Hey, he is a woman, right? Or maybe she is a woman, right? Is the Sannin Orochimaru a woman? He really woke up. Shizune hurriedly came over, reached out and grabbed Shikamaru's hand, and then touched Shikamaru's forehead. She breathed a sigh of relief. It seems that there are no physical damage left, I just don't know if the spirit has been affected. She hurriedly asked. Little one, do you still remember your name? Do you remember who you are? Shikamaru frowned, feeling that something seemed a bit off. He thought for a moment and responded. I know who I am Narashikaku. You guys are. Oh. I almost forgot. Shizune realized later. She smiled and said. You kids have been rescued. This is the Moby Dick of the Whitebeard Pirates. So you don't have to worry. We are not enemies. My name is Kato Shizune, I am Tsunade-sama's disciple. This is Orochimaru, a prisoner of the Whitebeard Pirates. Shikamaru. Rescued? An hour later. Having not eaten for several days, and maintaining vital signs by infusion every day, Shikamaru was on the deck of the Moby Dick, holding a grilled fish and eating heartily. Ha ha ha. Shikamaru, how about it? My cooking skills are not bad, right? This is the grilling technique I specifically learned from Aunt Hazuki. Naruto sat cross-legged next to Shikamaru, grinning. Aunt Hazuki? Shikamaru tilted his head in confusion. Naruto replied. It's Izumi's mother, named Hazuki Uchiha. She's a very good cook, currently in the Whitebeard Pirates, serving as the head chef. I see. Shikamaru suddenly realized. I heard that after you guys were captured by Obito Uchiha, you were very anxious, and I even wanted to rush to save you. I even fought with that Obito Uchiha. Naruto lifted his chin, with an expression of quickly praise me. The response he got was Shikamaru rolling his eyes at him. Shikamaru couldn't help but complain. Is there a possibility that the reason I was caught by that guy is because of you? Naruto laughed carelessly. Ha, isn't it that you were rescued? Shikamaru swallowed the fish in his mouth. He asked in a low voice curiously. Naruto, why are Orochimaru and Tsunade on your ship? For a student of the Hidden Leaf Village ninja school like Shikamaru, whether it's the renegade ninja Orochimaru or the princess of Hidden Leaf Village, Tsunade, they are all well-known figures. They are characters that have been heard from childhood to adulthood. Naruto explained. Because Orochimaru didn't fight us, we caught him. Shikamaru was dumbfounded. As for Tsunade-san, Naruto shook his head. I don't know, anyway, she has always been with us. Naruto's casual words fell into Shikamaru's ears and were deafening. Anyway, Naruto's words revealed a piece of information. 2 of the famous Sannin of Hidden Leaf Village are in the pirate group. Today's Whitebeard Pirates may be even more terrifying than before. That is to say, Naruto, who has always been clamoring to be Hokage, may one day really become the Hokage of Hidden Leaf Village. After all, backed by such a white-beard pirates, what can't Naruto do? Just as Shikamaru wanted to ask something else, suddenly, there was a loud noise from the back of the Moby Dick. Not only did it startle Shikamaru, but Naruto was also startled. Then the Moby Dick under their feet began to shake violently, causing everyone on the ship to start to sand unsteadily. The angle of the ship's deck also tilted slightly. What's going on? Shikamaru swallowed nervously. Naruto stood up. Let's go and see. Meanwhile, at the rear bottom of the Moby Dick, Whitebeard's arm muscles were tense, and he lifted the entire Moby Dick with one hand. The Moby Dick, like a small mountain, was lifted up by Whitebeard's astonishing strength. Because, Whitebeard was conducting an experiment. A few days ago, when Whitebeard used a great deal of strength to shatter the atmospheric vibration space, he had a strange and long-lost feeling. That special feeling made Whitebeard both familiar and unfamiliar. That's why there's today's experiment. Feeling the weight of the Moby Dick, Whitebeard tried to bend his arm, then straighten it. Then bend his arm, then straighten it. After repeating this dozens of times, Whitebeard's expression became more and more strange. But then, an excited smile appeared on his rugged face. What is this? Is my body rejuvenating? Gorara. Although this change is extremely small, like an elephant growing an extra hair. But for a strong person like Whitebeard, even the smallest change can be detected. Whitebeard found that his strength seemed to increase as he kept lifting the Moby Dick. His strength, which had not been able to grow for many years, has changed. Chapter 300, The Seven-Tailed Jinchuriki Fu. The pirate crew has arrived. Hidden Waterfall Village is cowering. The Land of Waterfall is a small country in the world of Shinobi. It is located between the Land of Earth and the Land of Fire, serving as a buffer zone between these two major countries. Such small countries can be considered the most unfortunate in the world of Shinobi. Because if a battle breaks out between the two major countries, they generally wouldn't use their own territories as the battlefield, but rather the small countries in the buffer zone. In other words, if one day the Land of Fire and the Land of Earth start a war, a not-so-small-scale war, then the Land of Waterfall could very likely become the battlefield of the two major countries. There's no helping it, this is the sorrow of being a small country. However, compared to other small countries, the Land of Waterfall is much better off. Among the many small countries, its strength is second only to the Land of Rain. Although the country is small, the strength of the Chunin in Hidden Waterfall Village is not weak, and there are quite a few ninjas at the Jonin level. This led to the first Hokage Senju Hashirama, when distributing the nine-tailed beasts, even a small country like Hidden Waterfall Village could be allocated a seven-tails chomai. And this tailed beast has been owned by Hidden Waterfall Village until now. Seven tails, just talk to me. Don't always ignore me. After all, I'm your Jinchuriki, right? You should at least acknowledge me. At this moment, inside Hidden Waterfall Village, a little girl with wheat-colored skin was mumbling to herself. She seemed to want to communicate with the tailed beast inside her, but unfortunately, the tailed beast inside her did not respond to her. The girl had blue hair and rare amber eyes, and she was about the same age as Naruto and Sasuke. Seeing that the tailed beast inside her didn't pay attention to her, the girl didn't feel discouraged, but instead optimistically said, "Well, anyway, you'll talk to me one day, after all, we're one now. Sooner or later, I will make 100 friends. And you're one of my 100 friends." The girl's tone was firm and full of optimism and cheerfulness. The girl's name is Fu, without a surname, just a single name. When she was very young, a tailed beast was implanted in her body. Over the years, she has been training hard, hoping that one day, she can use the power of the tailed beast to protect the village. But because she is still young, her strength has not yet reached that level. The bond with the tailed beast is also not deep. Suddenly, two Jonin from Hidden Waterfall Village appeared next to Fu. One of the Jonin reminded Fu, "Should we go back? We've been outside for half a day today, and it might be dangerous to stay any longer." If it were normal times, it wouldn't matter how long the Jinchuriki of Hidden Waterfall Village stayed outside. After all, there were two Jonin guards watching over her. But now it's different, because the tailed beast hunting operation of the Whitebeard pirate crew has spread throughout the entire Shinobi world. They worry that one day the Whitebeard pirate crew will appear in the Land of Waterfall. If the village's Jinchuriki were to be kidnapped, it would be a huge blow to a small ninja village like Hidden Waterfall Village. Speaking of which, Hidden Waterfall Village is actually quite tolerant towards Jinchuriki, not as abstract as Hidden Leaf Village and Hidden Sand Village. The ninjas in the village don't have too many prejudices against the tailed beast Jinchuriki. Not to mention, the current Jinchuriki is a lively and cheerful little girl, so there's even less prejudice. Is it time to go back so soon? Fu mumbled. Alright, then. But before she could finish her sentence, A sharp noise suddenly came from not far away. At the same moment, the three of them turned their heads to see a flare shooting up into the sky, its red tail flame clearly visible. The expressions of the two Jonin guards with Fu changed instantly. One of them was even more stunned, muttering, "A red flare? Isn't this the village's highest level of alert signal? What happened?" The other Jonin next to him picked up Fu without looking back and ran towards the village, responding at the same time. "Don't worry about what's going on, protect the Jinchuriki first, we can't let anything happen to the Jinchuriki." Such a flare also alarmed everyone in Hidden Waterfall Village. One by one, the ninjas of Hidden Waterfall Village looked up in astonishment towards the distance. Among them, the current leader of Hidden Waterfall Village also suddenly stood up from his office chair and walked quickly to the window. The leader of the village looked at the crimson flare in the distance and said in a deep voice, "Anbu." Whoosh! 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 3 Anbu ninjas wearing masks from Hidden Waterfall Village appeared in an instant. Although it's a small ninja village, there are still a dozen or so Anbu ninjas in Hidden Waterfall Village. Go and see what's going on. At the same time, notify all the ninjas in the village to respond to the highest alert immediately. Also, notify all the civilians in the village to take refuge underground immediately. The 3 Anbu ninjas nodded together and disappeared in the blink of an eye. Next to the village leader, a somewhat immature voice came. "Father, is it a very urgent situation?" It was a black-haired boy. The village leader nodded, his expression slightly heavy and his face very serious. The last time Hidden Waterfall Village sounded a red flare, it was when a ninja named Pikazu defected from the village. He said to the boy next to him, "Masaki, you should also go to the shelter with them, and come out after the alert is lifted." On the other side, the 3 Anbu ninjas of Hidden Waterfall Village acted separately. One went to check the situation, one notified the Chunin in the village, and one evacuated the civilians in the village. Among them, the Anbu ninja who went to check the situation kept flickering and left Hidden Waterfall Village in no time, heading straight for the direction where the flare rose. A few minutes later, he landed on the top of a big tree, hiding his figure with the surrounding branches and leaves, and then looked forward. It was this look that made the expression under the mask of the Anbu ninja from Hidden Waterfall Village instantly froze. He was a little doubtful whether he was hallucinating or whether he was in a ninja's ganjutsu. Release. But he found that he had released a loneliness, and the picture in front of him did not change. This is not an illusion, nor is it a ganjutsu. Because he saw a very large ship sailing towards Hidden Waterfall Village in the distance. He watched with wide eyes as the exaggerated big ship did not sail along the river, but crossed the river and hit the shore directly. But the ship did not run aground, but continued to sail on land. This incredible scene made him think of a rumor in the ninja world. Whitebeard Pirate Group. Such a vocabulary, with a horrified tone, came out of his mouth. The information that the Moby Dick of the Whitebeard Pirate Group can sail on land is no longer a secret in the ninja world. After all, such a large Moby Dick, sailing on land every day in a high-profile and swaggering manner, unless the intelligence agencies of various ninja villages are eating dry rice, otherwise such a magical pirate ship has long been famous in the ninja world. Moreover, this pirate ship is also related to the Whitebeard Pirate Group. This leads to even Hidden Waterfall Village, which rarely participates in the disputes of the ninja world, has heard of the magic of Moby Dick. Damn it! How could it be them? How could they come to Hidden Waterfall Village? Is it because of the Jinchuriki in the village? The Anbu ninja of Hidden Waterfall Village was already a little panicked. He had heard that the Whitebeard pirates had once conquered Hidden Mist Village and Hidden Clouds Village, and even Hidden Leaf Village did not dare to offend the Whitebeard pirates. Would such a pirate group coming to Hidden Waterfall Village bring any good? Could it be that they were just passing by? Impossible. He was about to rush back to the village to inform the leader, but as soon as he turned his head, he found a beautiful young girl standing on a tree behind him. The girl had a ninja sword tied to her waist, and she didn't look more than 15 years old. She was clearly not a ninja from Hidden Waterfall Village. "Well, I can't let you go back and alert the village, and then scare away the Jinchuriki." Izumi Uchiha smiled, her pair of Crimson 3 Tomoe Sharingan already fixed on his eyes. The Sharingan Ganjutsu from the Uchiha clan made the Anbu ninja from Hidden Waterfall Village freeze on the spot. When the Anbu ninja came to his senses, he was shocked to find that he had been tied up. All the ninja tools on his body had been taken away by her. He had no idea what had just happened. He only knew that he had been inexplicably captured. On the Moby Dick. Hidden Waterfall Village is a rather special small ninja village. Because of its unique geographical location, even though it is sandwiched between two large ninja villages, the friction between the two villages rarely affects Hidden Waterfall Village. Kakashi was talking about his understanding of Hidden Waterfall Village. Their village is somewhat detached from the world. If I remember correctly, There is a miser in the Akatsuki organization who is from Hidden Waterfall Village, right? Orochimaru glanced at Conan with a smirk. Conan frowned slightly. Orochimaru, the traitor of the Akatsuki organization, really said everything. Compared to him, Sasori, who had always been diligently trying to create a new body, was much more honest. But when she saw the people of the Whitebeard pirates all looking at her, Conan was forced to nod and admit. Indeed, his name is Kakazu. He used to be a mercenary in the ninja world. Even earlier, he was an elite jonin of Hidden Waterfall Village. Tsunade touched her chin. Kakazu, sounds familiar. Oh. Tsunade clapped her hands, she suddenly remembered. Isn't his the guy who tried to assassinate my grandfather? I heard my grandfather mention this person. Kakashi's eyelids twitched. He tried to assassinate the first Hokage-sama? That's quite an impressive character. Kisame grinned. It's just that this ninja village is too small. If it were a bit bigger, it would probably be the 6th largest ninja village. The tailed beast of Hidden Waterfall Village is the Seven Tails. Big Fox, what does the Seven Tails look like? Naruto asked the Nine Tails inside him. It's kind of like a big bug. Kurama yawned and casually replied. It's pretty ugly. Sasuke interjected. Matetabi says, it's a bit impolite for you to comment on another tailed beast like that. As a Jinchuriki, Sasuke could know what the Nine Tails was saying through Matetabi inside him. Kurama grinned. It just doesn't look good, I didn't lie. But compared to that raccoon cat, it looks quite pleasing to the eye. Juki said with schadenfreude. With the hunting speed of the Whitebeard pirate crew, it won't be long before you meet Shukaku. If you say such things in front of him, given his temper, he will definitely fight with you. Kurama grinned, not stingy with mockery and ridicule. Just him? I can twist off his head with one hand. Matetabi sighed. I feel we should be a bit more united. Conan looked at the bustling group of the Whitebeard pirate crew. She found that these people did not take Hidden Waterfall Village, a ninja village, seriously. Even if their Akatsuki organization wanted to hunt the tailed beast of the Dragon Ninja Village, they would have to make a very detailed plan, then find an opportunity to catch the lone Jinchuriki. Only in this way can they ensure that they get the tailed beast 100%. Moreover, the power of Hidden Waterfall Village should not be underestimated. This ninja village is very special. There are not many Chunin Geinin, but there are quite a few Jonin. The Akatsuki organization is unwilling to go head-to-head with Hidden Waterfall Village. But the people of the Whitebeard pirate crew, completely without any plan, do whatever they think of. They can do whatever they want. Conan could only sigh. The tone of her sigh had no mockery, but rather a bit of envy. Because the Anbu ninja sent by Hidden Waterfall Village to check the situation was directly caught, the people of Hidden Waterfall Village did not receive any news for a long time. So, when Moby Dick was only 500 meters away from Hidden Waterfall Village, the ninjas of Hidden Waterfall Village realized that something was wrong. But it was too late. That ship is Moby Dick. It's the Whitebeard pirate crew. The leader of Hidden Waterfall Village widened his eyes, looking incredulously at Moby Dick not far away. Leader, what? What should we do? Should we organize the ninjas of the village to confront the Whitebeard pirate crew? An elder of Hidden Waterfall Village asked with a gulp. This question stumped the leader of Hidden Waterfall Village. Should they confront the Whitebeard pirate crew? If they don't stop these pirates will definitely ransack the entire Hidden Waterfall Village, right? Especially the tailed beast of the village, it must be impossible to keep, right? The Seven Tails is the biggest treasure and the biggest trump card of Hidden Waterfall Village. How can they willingly let it go? The question is, can Hidden Waterfall Village gather the power of the entire ninja village to fight the Whitebeard pirate crew? If the invaders were other organizations or other ninja villages, the leader of Hidden Waterfall Village would grit his teeth and directly call on the ninjas of the village to fight. But the other party is the Whitebeard pirate crew. One of the 5 major ninja villages, Hidden Mist Village and Hidden Clouds Village, and Hidden Leaf Village, are all at their mercy. Even if they fight with all their might, they can't stop them. Quick. In the end, the leader of Hidden Waterfall Village made a quick decision. Cancel all the village's alerts. Tell the ninjas of the village not to attack the Whitebeard pirate crew. He forced out a smile. Maybe they are just passing guests, right? Our Hidden Waterfall Village should have the courtesy to entertain guests. This can also be considered as forcibly saving face for the village. In the final analysis, it was because of what the Whitebeard pirates had done in the ninja world that the leader of the Hidden Waterfall Village had no confidence to contend with the Whitebeard pirates. He was scared, thoroughly scared. On one hand, there was the village's tailed beast and the village's dignity. On the other hand, the village's survival was at stake. Which was lighter and which was heavier? There was no need for detailed analysis. Anyone would understand. Chapter 301, The leader of Hidden Waterfall Village is baffled. Whitebeard, would you like to be my daughter? The order from the leader of Hidden Waterfall Village left some of the village's ninjas puzzled and others less than content, allowing Whitebeard's pirate crew to enter the village. What could these pirates possibly be up to? After all, they were pirates. And Whitebeard's reputation in the ninja world is not very good, which added to the anxiety of the Hidden Waterfall Village ninjas. The reason behind Whitebeard's less than favorable reputation? Well, it boiled down to a few key incidents: killing a daimyo, assassinating the leader of Hidden Grass Village, and hunting tailed beasts. Coincidentally, the land of Waterfall, where Hidden Waterfall Village was situated, had its own daimyo. Hidden Waterfall Village also had a leader. And, as luck would have it, Hidden Waterfall Village happened to possess a tailed beast. Quite the coincidence, wasn't it? Is this really an order from our esteemed leader? Are we truly allowing them into Hidden Waterfall Village? Wondered a Jonin from Hidden Waterfall Village as he gazed at the imposing Moby Dick ahead. The sheer size of the ship made him involuntarily swallow hard. Beside him, another ninja chimed in. This order was delivered by the Anbu on behalf of our leader. 90% of the time, it's a command directly from our esteemed leader. With that, the village's ninjas refrained from further objections. After all, this decision came from their Hidden Waterfall Village leader. They didn't know why the leader had made this choice, but they could only watch as Moby Dick anchored itself just outside the main gate of Hidden Waterfall Village. The colossal pirate ship stood there like a mountain, less than 100 meters from the village entrance. Hidden Waterfall Village's ninjas had to tilt their heads dramatically upward to catch a glimpse of the pirate flag fluttering in the wind. The emblem on the pirate flag confirmed that this was indeed Whitebeard's crew. And the leader of Hidden Waterfall Village came out in person. He was accompanied by 2 Hidden Waterfall Village elders and the village's Anbu ninjas. The highest level of reception Hidden Waterfall Village could offer. As rumored, this ship must be at least 50 to 60 meters tall, and its length is beyond estimation. The width can't be less than 100 meters. The Hidden Waterfall Village leader marveled. At that very moment, hearty laughter echoed through Hidden Waterfall Village. Gorrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrr Whitebeard, standing on Moby Dick, grinned at his sons. I told you from a kilometer away that these ninja brats wouldn't dare oppose us. Gorura. Whitebeard openly exposed Hidden Waterfall Village's awkward predicament. The village's ninjas wore expressions of embarrassment and frustration. Kakashi surveyed Hidden Waterfall Village below. It seems our exploits in Hidden Clouds Village have become common knowledge. Kisame smirked. That person must be Hidden Waterfall Village's leader, right? In their line of sight, almost all the ninjas from Hidden Waterfall Village were gathered ahead. However, those ninjas didn't seem to show much hostility. There were also no defensive fortifications set up in the village. They were on the ship, looking at the ninjas from Hidden Waterfall Village. A group of ninjas from Hidden Waterfall Village also looked up at the Whitebeard pirates. Are they the Whitebeard pirates? Hiss. I think I see Whitebeard, he just like the legend, he's so tall. That person. Is Kakashi of the Sharingan from Hidden Leaf Village? I heard he joined the Whitebeard pirates, I didn't expect the rumor to be true. And there's Hoshigaki Kisame from Hidden Mist Village. No wonder the leader doesn't want us to conflict with the Whitebeard pirates. There are many ninjas in this group of pirates who are famous in the ninja world. Amidst the hushed whispers, Whitebeard jumped directly off the Moby Dick. His huge and burly body fell heavily to the ground, his feet trampling the ground beneath him, creating cracks. An invisible wave of air spread from Whitebeard as the center, forming a breeze that fluttered the clothes of every Hidden Waterfall Village ninja. Bang! Whitebeard's Morakamagi-ri heavily pounded on the ground, and the ninjas from Hidden Waterfall Village in front felt the ground tremble. This kind of strength is indeed shocking. It also made the whispers on the scene fall into silence. Then, Kakashi, Kisame, Sasuke, Naruto, and others also jumped off the ship one after another. Gorura. Whitebeard glanced at the leader of the Waterfall Ninjas with a hollow gaze and laughed heartily. The little devils of Hidden Waterfall Village, you guys are quite welcoming. The leader of the Waterfall Ninjas swallowed a mouthful of saliva. The pressure Whitebeard brought to him was not ordinary. Because at this moment, Whitebeard was only 10 meters away from him. He could clearly feel a unique domineering aura emanating from this man. Just like a king looking down at his subjects. I presume. You must be the famous Whitebeard. The leader of the Waterfall Ninjas tried to steady his emotions. He spoke. I am Hyson, the 5th leader of Hidden Waterfall Village. We didn't expect the Whitebeard pirates to pass by Hidden Waterfall Village today. The village didn't prepare a welcome ceremony for you in advance. We are really a bit rude. His words made the ninjas from Hidden Waterfall Village behind him dumbfounded. The leader's tone and words were a bit too humble, weren't they? Hidden Waterfall Village is a ninja village after all, right? TSK, Hyson Dano, There's no need to play this language game. Kisame, carrying Samada, laughed, we're not just passing by, we're here for Hidden Waterfall Village. Kisame's words sent a chill down the leader of Hidden Waterfall Village's spine. He glanced at Whitebeard's pirate crew, and his sinking heart plummeted even further. Whitebeard, Kakashi of the Sharingan, Kisame, and Hidden Leaf Village as Shizue of the Body Flicker. Together, this group of pirates extinguished any hope of victory for Hyson after a fallout with Whitebeard's crew. There were also some unfamiliar faces among the pirates. But Hyson suspected that being part of Whitebeard's crew meant they were far from ordinary. And those young children. Whether it was his imagination or not, he sensed that they were exceptional too. Was this the depth of Whitebeard's crew? Was this their true power? Kisame Dano, Hyson asked, clinging to a last glimmer of hope. May I inquire about the purpose of the pirate crew's visit to our village? Kisame grinned openly. Naturally, we've come to borrow your tailed beast. I assume you won't mind? Hidden Waterfall Village's leader, Hyson. Hidden Waterfall Village's elders. As Hyson's mind raced, searching for an excuse to explain that the village's Jinchuriki was temporarily absent. Suddenly, there was a commotion from the crowd behind them. Let me see. Let me see. Don't block me. Is it really Whitebeard's pirate crew? Is it truly the living Whitebeard? Let me take a look. A lively, childlike voice cut through the tension. Hyson's expression froze. Goodness, couldn't Tu Jonin keep an eye on one child? He recognized the voice. It belonged to Fu. When Hyson turned around hastily. Sure enough. There stood a girl with aquamarine hair, pushing her way through the group of ninjas to the front. And Fu's Tu Jonin guards were hurrying to catch up. The Jinchuriki's guards exchanged glances with Hyson, the village leader. Your Excellency. They stammered. We apologize. Fu stood beside the Hidden Waterfall Village leader, greeting him with a smile. Good afternoon, Your Excellency. Hyson forced a nod, then managed a strained smile. Fu, this isn't where a child like you should be. Please go back. Before Hyson could finish, Whitebeard's voice cut in directly. Gorura. I'm indeed the living Whitebeard. Any objections, kid? Hyson was dumbfounded. Fu widened her amber eyes, gazing up at Whitebeard. Unlike the other villagers, her expression held neither fear nor trepidation when she looked at Whitebeard. It was as if a child had met a big celebrity. Fu's eyes sparkled with excitement. Are you truly the legendary Whitebeard? I heard from Shibuki that there's a formidable pirate in the ninja world named Whitebeard. Shibuki also said that Whitebeard single-handedly defeated Hidden Mist Village's Mizukage and Hidden Clouds Village's Raikage. Like an eager little explorer, Fu continued. Whitebeard, are all these things Shibuki told me true? Seeing such a familiar and unabashed child, Whitebeard's smile grew broader. Gorura. They're absolutely true, kid. Whitebeard laughed heartily. Amazing. Fu's eyes were almost sparkling, she was in awe. Although at her age, she didn't quite understand what kind of concept the Mizukage of Hidden Mist Village and the Raikage of Hidden Clouds Village were. But Fu probably knew that those two people should be similar to the leader of Hidden Waterfall Village, right? That is to say, the Whitebeard in front of her is the one who can defeat two leaders. Fu silently did a unit conversion. She thought it was reasonable. Pops, Matetabi said, she is the Jinchuriki of Hidden Waterfall Village. Suddenly, Sasuke spoke, she has 7 tails sealed in her body. Matetabi said, the name of the 7 tails is Chomai. Sasuke's voice was not loud, but it was enough to make a group of higher-ups in Hidden Waterfall Village change their faces. Oh? Whitebeard looked down at Fu thoughtfully. He could tell from the reaction of the Hidden Waterfall Village ninja leader that this little kid was not simple. They just didn't expect that the Jinchuriki of Hidden Waterfall Village would appear in front of him so easily. At this moment, the leader of the Hidden Waterfall Village ninjas was already sweating coldly. The air around seemed to be a bit heavier. Hyson looked at the Whitebeard pirates in front of him, and then at Fu, who had an innocent face, as if she was looking at an idol. He wanted to say something, but he didn't dare to say. Eh? How do you know I'm a Jinchuriki? In the end, it was Fu who broke the silence. Matetabi? Who was that? Fu looked at Sasuke curiously. Hey, because I'm also a Jinchuriki. Sasuke crossed his arms and said coolly, and my relationship with the tailed beast is very good, what it knows, I naturally know. His tone also had a bit of bragging. Fu was stunned. Then. Her reaction was a bit beyond the expectations of ordinary people. She was surprised. You are also a Jinchuriki? Although Hidden Waterfall Village does not discriminate or isolate Jinchuriki like Hidden Lee Village and Hidden Sand Village, it will also strictly supervise Jinchuriki. Generally, Jinchuriki will not be allowed to interact with too many peers, just in case. This has resulted in Fu not having many friends from childhood to adulthood. Her best friend is Shibuki, the son of the leader of the Hidden Waterfall Village ninjas. When she learned that Sasuke was also a Jinchuriki, a sense of closeness rose instantly. Under Sasuke's somewhat astonished gaze, she ran straight towards Sasuke. Fu grabbed Sasuke's arm and excitedly said, "Hello. My name is Fu. My goal is to make 100 friends in my lifetime. Are you also a pirate of the Whitebeard Pirates? What's your name?" Such a sociable person made Sasuke a bit overwhelmed. Sasuke instinctively replied, "Sasuke Uchiha. Sasuke Uchiha. Can we be friends?" Fu was excited. "Can you be one of my 100 friends? I don't have any pirate friends yet. I don't have any Jinchuriki friends yet." Sasuke was a bit stunned. Facing such an enthusiastic Fu, he could only look at Naruto for help. Naruto put his hands behind his head and laughed. He also said very familiarly, "Not only Sasuke is a Jinchuriki, I am also a Jinchuriki." Fu widened her eyes and turned to look at Naruto. "You're also a Jinchuriki?" Naruto gave her a thumbs up, grinning. "My name is Naruto Uzumaki. I'm the captain of the first division of the Whitebeard Pirates, and also the Jinchuriki of the Ninetales. I'm the man who will become Hokage in the future, and even surpass Hokage." Fu felt that happiness came a bit too suddenly. The appearance of two same kind in a row. Could this be a piece of luck given to her by heaven? Can I be friends with you?" Fu asked excitedly. "Haha, of course." Compared to Sasuke, Naruto was much more friendly. "Yay!" Fu cheered. She turned her head to look at Hyson and said as if she was taking credit, "Leader, I made 2 friends. And they are also Jinchuriki. He. Hyson. Good. Good girl." Hyson tried to control his facial muscles to avoid twitching. "Gorara. Little brat, you're interesting." Whitebeard took an interest in Fu and laughed. "Are you interested in joining the Whitebeard Pirates and becoming my daughter, Whitebeard?" He actually invited Fu. Chapter 302, One more for the affiliated ninja village. One more daughter. The invitation from Whitebeard not only stunned the 8-year-old Fu, but also the group of people in Hidden Waterfall Village, including the leader of the Hidden Waterfall Village ninjas. No one expected that this legendary man would make such an invitation to a girl. Whitebeard actually wanted Fu to join the Whitebeard Pirates. He actually wanted Fu to become his daughter? Fu was stunned, her little face full of shocked expression. Even her sunny and sociable personality, at this moment, was a bit overwhelmed. 3 consecutive A's are enough to show how confused Fu is now. She couldn't help but raise her head and look at Whitebeard in a daze. "Grandpa Whitebeard, you said you want me to be your daughter?" "Gorara." "Yes." Whitebeard laughed loudly. "What? Little brat, are you going to refuse me?" Whitebeard's last question had a bit of a joking tone. Fu's big amber eyes widened. The legendary big pirate Whitebeard wants to take her as his daughter, wants to invite her to join the Whitebeard Pirates. If it were someone else, the first instinctive reaction would be to refuse. After all, the word pirate doesn't sound very glamorous, and Whitebeard is wanted by the entire ninja world. Joining the Whitebeard Pirates, doesn't that mean being an enemy of the entire ninja world? The risk factor is too high, isn't it? But the person being invited is Fu. Fu not only has no intention of refusing, but also has a desire to try. Whitebeard, the leader of the Waterfall Ninjas, Hyson, couldn't help but want to say something, but the words that were about to come out of his mouth were blocked back by a look from Whitebeard. "Little brat, you should let her make the decision, not you make the decision for her." Whitebeard's brief words scared Hyson into a cold sweat. He immediately shut up, not daring to say a word. I'm willing. I'm willing. I'm willing." Fu was so excited that her little face turned a bit red. She shouted, "I'm willing to be Grandpa Whitebeard's daughter. I'm willing to join the Whitebeard Pirates." After shouting this, she showed a silly smile. He. "This way, I can be friends with many people, right? Isn't it easy to have 100 friends then? Should I set my goal a bit bigger, to make 1,000 friends in this life, not 100 friends?" Among Whitebeard's many sons and daughters, Fu is definitely one of the few who agreed so readily. For Fu at her age, she hasn't really realized what it means to join the Whitebeard Pirates. Fu simply thinks that by joining the pirate crew, she can have many friends. Fu also simply thinks that being invited to join the pirate crew by someone she admires is her greatest honor. Yes, she, who has heard some stories about Whitebeard in Hidden Waterfall Village, has a sense of admiration for Whitebeard. Gorara. After hearing Fu's words, Whitebeard's laughter echoed throughout Hidden Waterfall Village. "You're very spirited. But are you still going to call me Grandpa Whitebeard? You should call me Pops. Silly daughter." Whitebeard's address to Fu naturally changed from little brat to daughter. Fu quickly corrected herself, "Pops." This inexplicable development left the ninjas in Hidden Waterfall Village a bit confused. What's going on? The uninvited Whitebeard pirates ran to their hidden waterfall village, just to take their village's Jinchuriki as a daughter? And the Jinchuriki foolishly agreed? Ah, this. TSK. It seems that the seven tails were easily taken down by us. Kisame grinned and laughed. There was no fight throughout, not even a verbal conflict. It was so easy that it was a bit unusual. When they were hunting the two tails and eight tails, they fought one big battle after another, causing a lot of terrain to be destroyed. Now that the Whitebeard pirates have come to Hidden Waterfall Village to hunt the seven tails, compared to the previous 2 times, it's so easy that it's a bit unbelievable. Isn't his quite good? Kakashi, with one hand in his pocket and the other holding a small book, casually said, it's very peaceful to solve things. If the future is like now, then gathering the tailed beasts is quite easy. Kakashi quite likes this method of solving problems without force. Of course, he also understands that this is precisely the reputation that the Whitebeard pirates have gained from conquering so many opponents with force, which led to what just happened. Shizue sighed. The Seven Tails Jinchuriki is a very optimistic little girl. Although I can't see what she looks like, but from the tone of her speech, I can tell that she hasn't been discriminated against or isolated from a young age. Isolation must be more or less there, but that kind of isolation has not evolved into cold violence. Conan said expressionlessly, this village's method in dealing with Jinchuriki is quite good. Conan's mood is complicated. The Seven Tails also fell into the hands of the Whitebeard pirates, which means that the Whitebeard pirates now have 4 tailed beasts in their hands. 9 tails, 8 tails, 7 tails, 2 tails. Of the 9 tailed beasts, the Whitebeard pirates occupy 4 alone. Conan is even contemplating. Should their Akatsuki organization change their initial strategy? Should they not use the tailed beasts to make the ninja world feel pain? Otherwise, won't they have a head-on conflict with the Whitebeard pirates in the future? If there is a conflict in the future, can the Akatsuki organization beat the Whitebeard pirates? Whitebeard added a daughter, which is definitely a big event worth celebrating with a banquet for the Whitebeard pirates. So, the Whitebeard pirates directly invited the entire Hidden Waterfall village to hold a grand welcome banquet. Anyway, the current Whitebeard pirates are very rich. The most important thing is that the pirate crew is holding a banquet in Hidden Waterfall Village, and the protagonist of the banquet is the Jinchuriki of Hidden Waterfall Village. So, should Hidden Waterfall Village also add some financial support for this banquet? Leader. This. An elder from Hidden Waterfall Village watched a group of pirates eating and drinking freely in the village. He hesitated. Isn't this a bit inappropriate? What if other ninja villages see this scene? Wouldn't they suspect that our Hidden Waterfall Village is colluding with pirates? He looked at the ninjas and civilians in his village and found that some of them had actually joined the banquet under the influence of the pirates. This made the elder from Hidden Waterfall Village twitch at the corner of his mouth. What is this? What's going on? Is there a better way than standing by? Aizen sighed heavily. Are you asking me to say in front of Whitebeard that the Jinchuriki can't be his daughter? After hearing these words, the elder from Hidden Waterfall Village didn't know what to say. If the leader really did this, I'm afraid that Hidden Waterfall Village and the Whitebeard pirates would not be living in harmony as they are now, but would start a war between pirates and ninjas. The last Hidden Clouds village that fought with the Whitebeard pirates and suffered a defeat, I'm afraid they have not recovered yet. Aizen murmured. The situation in the ninja world is changing. 3 of the 5 major villages have been defeated by the Whitebeard pirates, and the Whitebeard pirates have stirred up the situation in the entire ninja world with their own power. I'm afraid it won't be long before the situation in the ninja world will change. In the past, no matter how many ninja wars occurred, our Hidden Waterfall village could stay out of it by taking advantage of its special geographical advantages and watch other ninja villages fight each other. Now it's different. The Whitebeard pirates can come directly to our Hidden Waterfall village, which means that the geographical advantage is gone. If we don't seize the opportunity to welcome the new changes in the ninja world, I'm afraid Hidden Waterfall village will not be able to keep up with the new era. Aizen is after all a leader of a ninja village. He tried to look further into the future, and he already had a little plan in his heart. Hearing his analysis, an elder from Hidden Waterfall village couldn't help but ask. Leader, what do you mean? Aizen said. What do you think would be the situation if our Hidden Waterfall village were to rely on the Whitebeard pirates? The elder from the Waterfall ninjas was dumbfounded. Rely on the Whitebeard pirates? In that case, wouldn't their village become a vassal of the Whitebeard pirates? A ninja village becoming a vassal of a pirate crew. Isn't that a bit upside down? Aizen seemed to guess what the elder was thinking, and he explained. Don't forget, although they are called the Whitebeard pirates, they are not pirates in the traditional sense. There are Whitebeard pirates. Aizen took a deep breath, and a hint of fear and dread of the Whitebeard pirates flashed in the depths of his eyes. Whitebeard has hidden Mist Village. Hidden Grass Village, or even Hidden Clouds Village under him. This is a huge creature that controls 3 ninja villages. What he didn't know was, Orochimaru is now a captive of the Whitebeard pirates, and Hidden Sound Village, which was created by Orochimaru, is also a vassal of Whitebeard in a certain sense. That means the Whitebeard pirates actually control 4 ninja villages. Aizen paused, then continued. Tomorrow, call a meeting of all the Jonin and all the patriarchs of the ninja clans in the village, and let everyone decide the future of our Hidden Waterfall village together. Yes, leader. Meanwhile, on the other side, Sasuke, Naruto, Haku, Karen, Ino, Hinata, Neji, Kimimaro, Shikamaru, Chaji, Sakura. He. Fu has never been as happy as she is today. She made 11 friends of her age in one day. They can't even be called friends anymore, they are family. Fu, what does the tailed beast inside you look like? Naruto has always been curious about the 7 tails inside Fu. He asked eagerly, can you use its power? Hearing Naruto's question, Fu shook her head frankly, not yet. Every time I want to talk to the 7 tails, it ignores me. Fu was not discouraged at all. She clenched her little fist and said with determination, but I believe that one day I will be good friends with it. Sasuke on the side reminded, if you know what it likes, maybe you can establish a bond with the tailed beast inside you. The reason why Sasuke has a good relationship with the tailed beast is simply because the 2 tails, Matatabi, inside him has a really good temper. He made such a suggestion because Sasuke thought of Kakashi. In Sasuke's eyes, Kakashi and the 8 tails are both unscrupulous people and unscrupulous tailed beasts. I wonder if the 7 tails inside Fu also has this kind of unscrupulous hobby? What does the 7 tails like? Fu nodded seriously, that's a good suggestion. Thank you, Sasuke. She hooked Sasuke's arm and showed a sunny trust, he. You are my best friend. Sasuke twitched at the corner of his mouth, he was a bit overwhelmed by this sociable and familiar person. Sasuke quickly pulled his hand out of hers and stood behind Naruto without leaving a trace, using Naruto as a shield. The next day, early morning, all the Jonin, patriarchs of the ninja clans, and higher-ups of Hidden Waterfall Village held a secret meeting. The content of the secret meeting was naturally to discuss the 2 tropics of Whitebeard pirates and the future of Hidden Waterfall Village. During the meeting, Aizen, the leader of the Waterfall ninjas, expressed some of his thoughts from yesterday, causing everyone to be shocked. No one expected that the leader would actually want to cling to the Whitebeard pirates. But if you think more about it, it's not impossible. Bowing to the Whitebeard pirates is not something to be ashamed of, they are just a small ninja village. Isn't it normal for a small ninja village to bow to a huge creature? The Whitebeard pirates have defeated Hidden Mist Village, Hidden Clouds Village, and Hidden Grass Village, and even made Hidden Leaf Village dare not say a word. Bowing to such an existence is not unacceptable. The situation in the ninja world is indeed changing a lot. If they can grab the leg of the Whitebeard pirates, maybe in the future of changing winds and clouds, they can get a share of the pie? Hidden Waterfall Village can no longer be at peace with the world. Yes. To Aizen's surprise, a large majority of the people in front of him thought there is nothing wrong with his idea. Only a small part of the people had some objections, but the resistance was not too intense. When Aizen proposed to decide by vote, the number of votes in favor of Hidden Waterfall Village joining the Whitebeard pirates reached 47%. The number of votes against it was only 21%. The rest of the people cast abstention votes. In the end, Aizen, the leader of Hidden Waterfall Village, gritted his teeth and made a decisive decision to face Whitebeard himself. So, Whitebeard, this is a decision made by our Hidden Waterfall Village about the future of the village. But when Aizen faced Whitebeard, his courage and spirit instantly vanished, and his tone was inevitably a bit humble. Aizen took a deep breath and said seriously, Whitebeard, please let Hidden Waterfall Village become a vassal ninja village of the Whitebeard pirates. Chapter 303, Shocking the Ninja World. Zetsu and Itachi Uchiha. The leader of Hidden Waterfall Village didn't know how Hidden Mist Village and Hidden Grass Village became vassal ninja villages of the Whitebeard pirates. He could only do it in the way he thought of. Since it has been decided to join the Whitebeard pirates, the most sincere sincerity must be shown, not the posture of a ninja village. So, Aizen took out the Takikage hat of Hidden Waterfall Village. In theory, the leader of such a small ninja village can also be called Kage, but not many people recognize them. But it doesn't prevent him from calling this hat the Waterfall Shadow Hat of Hidden Waterfall Village. The moment Aizen handed this hat to the Whitebeard pirates, it meant that the Whitebeard pirates had the right and the power to replace him, the leader of Hidden Waterfall Village, in the future. This is somewhat equivalent to giving up the biggest right of the village, and it is also equivalent to him going all in. Gorrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrr Whitebeard looked down at Hyson with a calm gaze, but it made Hyson sweat coldly. Hyson is also desperate. Either don't do something, or do it thoroughly. At this time, he was a little worried that Whitebeard would not accept this hat. If that's the case, then he has wasted his efforts. Kakashi, go put this hat away. Whitebeard grinned and laughed. Little brat, this hat of your village will be kept by our Whitebeard pirates. Little brat, if you meet someone does something to your village, just tell them our Whitebeard pirates' name. Gorrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrr relief. The huge stone hanging in his heart finally fell. The reason why Hidden Waterfall Village chose this path is also due to the intervention of the Whitebeard pirates. Because Whitebeard took Fu as his daughter yesterday, the biggest trump card of Hidden Waterfall Village was taken away by Whitebeard. Without the tailed beast, Hidden Waterfall Village is no different from other small ninja villages. Without this trump card, Hidden Waterfall Village must find a way out for itself. The only way out they can think of is the Whitebeard pirates in front of them. Thank you, Whitebeard. Aizen bowed deeply to Whitebeard. For a leader of a ninja village, this is definitely a great gift, and it also represents his submission to the Whitebeard pirates. Kakashi stepped forward to take the hat. The style of the hat. At first glance, it was modeled after the 5 major ninja villages. Kakashi's expression was a bit strange. He had unwittingly subdued a ninja village. Was this the charm of Pops? Now the Whitebeard pirates held 2 hats, one from Hidden Waterfall Village, one from Hidden Mist Village, and one more from Hidden Grass Village. Kakashi took a deep breath. How long has it been? Has it been 2 years? I don't think so. In a short period of time, the Whitebeard pirates have developed into such a huge entity, which was unthinkable in the past. The leader of the Hidden Waterfall Village ninjas and the higher-ups of the village did not deliberately hide this news, nor was there any need to hide it. The village began to hang one pirate flag after another, all of which were just embroidered. Such changes shocked many ninjas in the village. They thought it was the Whitebeard pirates who had unknowingly taken down Hidden Waterfall Village. But upon closer inspection, they found that it was the higher-ups of the village who had bowed to Whitebeard first. The ninjas of Hidden Waterfall Village didn't know what to say, they just felt that everything they had experienced in the past 2 days was a bit too magical. In the blink of an eye, the sky of the village changed several times, making people a bit unable to react. And as time passed day by day, the news of Hidden Waterfall Village joining the Whitebeard pirates quickly spread throughout the entire ninja world. Hidden Grass Village is actually adjacent to Hidden Waterfall Village. The current leader of Hidden Grass Village Ninja, Kazuya Sarazawa, was the first to receive this shocking news. Whitebeard-sama has subdued Hidden Waterfall Village? Kazuya Sarazawa was so shocked that he stood up abruptly, his eyes wide open. How could Whitebeard-sama be in Hidden Waterfall Village? He considered himself to be the #1 loyal dog of the Whitebeard pirates, but at this moment he found that he couldn't even keep track of the whereabouts of the pirate crew. What made him even more unbelievable was that he had not received any information about the conflict between the pirate crew and Hidden Waterfall Village before. And then in an instant, Hidden Waterfall Village was subdued by Whitebeard-sama. Leader, this is the information sent back by our informant in Hidden Waterfall Village. Hidden Waterfall Village did not hide this news, there should be no mistake in the information. A Hidden Grass Village ninja reported to Kazuya Sarazawa. Kazuya Sarazawa took a deep breath. It's really Whitebeard-sama. He quietly subdued another ninja village. In this way, will Whitebeard-sama be able to unify the entire ninja world one day? Kazuya Sarazawa sensed an opportunity. Because the stronger the Whitebeard pirates are, the more benefits Hidden Grass Village, as a loyal dog of the Whitebeard pirates, can get. But Kazuya Sarazawa frowned and muttered, now there is one more competitor. He absolutely cannot let the title of #1 loyal dog be taken away by other villages. I need to think about how to please Whitebeard-sama. Hidden Leaf Village also sharing borders with Hidden Waterfall Village. Even a small ninja village like Hidden Grass Village can plant spies in Hidden Waterfall Village, let alone Hidden Leaf Village. When the information reached Sarutobi Hiruzen's desk, Sarutobi Hiruzen fell silent. This silence lasted a full half-minute before he spoke hoarsely. How many times has this happened? I'm starting to lose count. More than a year ago, when Whitebeard crushed the entire Hidden Grass Village, almost wiping out Hidden Grass Village, Sarutobi Hiruzen was shocked. A year ago, when he learned that Whitebeard had killed the 4th Mizukage and took over the entire Hidden Mist Village, Sarutobi Hiruzen was almost scared to death by Whitebeard. A few months ago, when he learned that the Whitebeard pirates had absolutely crushed and forced Hidden Clouds Village to acknowledge themselves as a vassal ninja village of the Whitebeard pirates, Sarutobi Hiruzen was very worried that the next one to be targeted would be Hidden Leaf Village. Until today, Sarutobi Hiruzen felt that he might have become a bit numb. Because the commotion caused by the Whitebeard pirates in the ninja world is truly outrageous every time. Hidden Waterfall Village. If I remember correctly, their village should have a tailed beast, right? On Saratobi Hiruzen's wrinkled old face, there was a look of apprehension. Does this mean that the Whitebeard pirates have another tailed beast in their hands? Every time he thought of the tailed beast, he was so angry that his teeth itched. Originally, the Nine Tails was theirs in Hidden Leaf Village, and originally, the Jinchuriki was his, Saratobi Hiruzen. Now, all of it has been snatched away by Whitebeard. And Whitebeard is not satisfied, he is plundering the tailed beasts in the entire ninja world. First it was Hidden Leaf Village, then Hidden Clouds Village, and then Hidden Waterfall Village. Who's next? Kazekage-sama, this is bad. If I'm not mistaken, the next target of the Whitebeard pirates should be our Hidden Sand Village. Abizo found Raza at the first moment, because this information is indeed not good news for their Hidden Sand Village. Raza also got this information. His face did not look good, there was a bit of gloom, and a bit of anger. Bang! He slammed his fist heavily on the desk, gritting his teeth and said, "Too presumptuous. In the ninja world where ninjas are respected, all countries actually indulge a group of pirates to cause chaos in the ninja world. Hidden Waterfall Village is simply the most shameless, they have lost the dignity and ethics of ninjas. The Whitebeard pirates haven't even declared war on them, and they have surrendered to the pirates. As for the defeat of Hidden Clouds Village, Hidden Mist Village, and Hidden Grass Village, Raza didn't have much to say. After all, they really haven't fought the Whitebeard pirates. If they persist, the village might be destroyed. But the surrender of Hidden Waterfall Village, in Raza's eyes, is simply absurd. Hidden Waterfall Village, which has a tailed beast, dares not declare war on the Whitebeard pirates, dares not tear its face with the Whitebeard pirates, and have a fierce fight. The pirates haven't done anything, and you guys have surrendered? Raza is so angry, also because Hidden Waterfall Village has set a bad precedent. If all the small ninja villages know that as long as they submit to the Whitebeard pirates, they will not be harassed by the Whitebeard pirates, will those weak small ninja villages follow suit? In the end, will all the small ninja villages in the entire ninja world fall into the hands of the pirate group? The more Raza thinks about it, the more he feels that this possibility is too great. There are one after another small countries in the middle of the major countries in the ninja world as a geopolitical buffer zone. If those small countries fall into the hands of the Whitebeard pirates, can the pirate group use one after another small country to form a line to strangle their 5 major ninja countries? Oh no, 2 of the 5 major ninja countries have already been ruined by the Whitebeard pirates. And there is one Hidden Leaf Village, which is also in a half-ruined state. Cough cough. Granny Chio coughed slightly on the side and said, I feel that the Whitebeard pirates are unlikely to attack our village for the time being. Don't forget, the nearest ninja village with a tailed beast from Hidden Waterfall Village is Hidden Stones Village. In Hidden Stones Village, they have a full 2 tailed beasts. Ebizo raised his eyelids. Didn't you hear that one of their Jinchuriki named Rashi left the village because he didn't obey the 3rd Sushi Kage's discipline? Granny Chio responded. Leaving the village does not mean leaving the land of Earth. Even if the Jinchuriki is disobedient, as long as he has feelings for this village, he will not leave the village too far. Ebizo nodded thoughtfully. That's true, after all, they were loyal to the village before they became Jinchuriki. Listening to these 2 old things singing and answering, Raza couldn't help but frown. He always felt that these 2 guys were hinting at something. It's like cursing him indirectly. Akatsuki. Itachi, have you heard? Biwajuzo carried the Kubik Iribicho and said. The Whitebeard pirates who hurt us like that, did another earth-shattering thing in the ninja world, and taken down a ninja village. Biwajuzo sighed. I doubt if I join the wrong organization. If I join the Whitebeard pirates, would the situation be completely different? Itachi Uchiha was expressionless, and his eyes did not fluctuate. If the leader hears this sentence, he will definitely kick you out of Akatsuki. By then, maybe the leader will let me assassinate you to prevent you from revealing the organization's information to others. Biwajuzo tsk a sound, feeling a bit disappointed. You can't even make a joke, why are you so serious all day with a straight face? Itachi did not respond, he was thinking about the day before yesterday. The day before yesterday, a member of the organization called Zetsu found him alone and talked about some things. Itachi instinctively distrusted that strange person because he was very close to Madara Uchiha. But he had to admit that his life was saved by the other party. Before, when Itachi Uchiha and Biwajuzo were seriously injured, they were brought to Absolute by White Zetsu's clone. Then the 2 of them were revived by Zetsu using White Zetsu cells. Now, at least half of Itachi Uchiha's body is implanted with White Zetsu cells. Otherwise, he would have lost his arms and legs long ago. Itachi Uchiha, there has been a little accident within the organization. If there are no other twists and turns, you will replace Madara Uchiha's position. Hee. You have been in Akatsuki for almost a year now, you should be very clear about what we are doing, and also clear about our pursuit and purpose. But, do you think everything you see is the truth? I know a lot of things that others don't know. These things, even the current leader of Akatsuki, he may not necessarily know. If you have thought about it, you can find a time to talk to me alone. Recalling the words Zetsu said to him, Itachi Uchiha's mood is very heavy. He thought he had mastered certain information about Akatsuki, but he didn't expect that the water of this organization was deeper than he thought. He has a strange feeling. As if there is a layer of conspiracy, shrouding the sky of Akatsuki. Even if he is now a member of Akatsuki, he cannot lift that layer of fog. There are two choices before him, one island to run to the leader to report Zetsu. Another choice is to conspire with Zetsu. Learn a hidden information from his mouth. Hidden Clouds Village. Raikage-sama, it seems that the ambition of the Whitebeard pirates has not ended here. The elder of the higher-ups of Hidden Clouds Village sighed helplessly. The fourth Raikage is now pulling a face, Humphrey. What a greedy pirate. He robbed Hidden Clouds Village of tens of billions of ryo, and still want to dominate a small ninja village. Only when Whitebeard is not in front of him, dares to say such words. As long as Whitebeard stands in front of him, even if his temper is very violent, even if he is very upset, he can only hold these words back. But even himself doesn't know why. When he learned of this information, he was a little secretly pleased. Is it because Hidden Clouds Village is not alone in its misfortune? Or say, as long as the Whitebeard pirates beat all the ninja villages, then their Hidden Clouds Village will not seem so weak? Chapter 304, The Four Tails Jinchuriki being targeted. Let Itachi succeed Obito? Granny Chio of Hidden Sand Village guessed correctly. The Whitebeard pirates did not take a detour to the Land of Wind, because what is closer to them is the Land of Earth next to the Land of Waterfall. When the Whitebeard pirates Moby Dick left Hidden Waterfall Village and directly sailed into the Land of Earth on land, the ninjas of Hidden Stones Village in the Land of Earth discovered their whereabouts. Whitebeard pirates are really coming at us. A jonin from Hidden Stones Village couldn't help but gasp. He was ordered by the third Sushi Kage Oanaki to run to the border between the Land of Waterfall and Land of Earth to monitor the situation. Obviously, Oanaki also guessed that the next one the Whitebeard pirates might target is their village's Jinchuriki. This is bad. Looking at the Moby Dick appearing in the distance, the jonin from Hidden Stones Village hurriedly said to the two chunin next to him, I will continue to monitor the Whitebeard pirates here, you two immediately return to the village to notify the Sushi Kage. Yes. The two chunin next to him nodded seriously, and then disappeared in an instant. Unbelievable. There really are ships sailing on land. Is this a special water-style ninjutsu? Or earth-style ninjutsu? The jonin from Hidden Stones Village murmured to himself. Recalling what the Whitebeard pirates had done in the ninja world, he inevitably felt a bit worried for his own Hidden Stones Village. The Whitebeard pirates broke into the Land of Earth, their purpose. 90% is for the two Jinchuriki of Land of Earth, right? Damn it, isn't there anyone in the entire ninja world who can stop these pirates? On the other side, several cabins of the Moby Dick were connected to each other and were transformed into a large laboratory. This is the laboratory of Orochimaru and Tsunade. At this moment, Orochimaru, looking at the humanoid special creature soaking in the nutrient solution, raised the corners of his mouth. Hee. Success. The humanoid creature soaking in the nutrient solution has already opened its eyes, and the other party is curiously looking around. Tsunade crossed her arms and said expressionlessly, does this clone thing have human wisdom and human thoughts? If the other party has the same wisdom and thoughts as humans, then Tsunade is a bit reluctant to use this creature as a sacrifice for summoning impure world reincarnation. Orochimaru shook his head and said, these clones that have not been given souls, their intelligence may be similar to that of small mouse. Tsunade asked, then why does that guy named Obi, who only has half of his body left, also have wisdom? Perhaps the person who created them has stronger genetic technology than us. Orochimaru licked his lips and guessed. Then he looked at Tsunade again. Do you want to try to transplant the cells of this creature? Maybe as a member of the Senju clan, you will awaken wood style. Tsunade shivered. She didn't lack any parts all over her body, and it was a bit outrageous to transplant such a strange thing into her body. She couldn't accept it, and decisively refused Zetsu. I myself have the bloodline of the Senju clan. If I could awaken wood style, I would have awakened long ago. Orochimaru shrugged, and didn't say much. But this special creature can be used as a very precious medical supply. Tsunade said. If anyone loses their arms and legs, we can just use the cells of this creature to make a leg, and these cells will not produce rejection with the human body. Hee. Orochimaru could not deny it. He thinks Tsunoda's goal is too short-sighted. This special creature made Orochimaru see the hope of immortality. This made his pair of golden vertical pupils flash a few degrees of heat. Immortality. It was his lifelong pursuit after the end of the Second Ninja World War. Meanwhile, on the deck of the Moby Dick. Naruto. Sasuke. Look. Look. I'm flying. 2 insect-like wings sprouted from Fu's back, and she vigorously flapped them. To her astonishment, she actually lifted off the ground. After days of effort communicating with the tailed beast and with Naruto and Sasuke's assistance, Fu could finally converse with the 7 tails residing within her body. Sasuke's 2 tails, Matatabi, played a significant role in persuading Fu's 7 tails. In the end, a faint bond formed between Fu and the tailed beast. The 7 tails even agreed to lend Fu a bit of chakra. For a tailed beast, lending a small amount of chakra was akin to taking a casual breath. A tailed beast that can fly. Sasuke's envy was evident. Among the many shinobi in the ninja world, few possessed aerial dominance. However, in the next moment, Sasuke watched helplessly as Fu lost control from several meters above, screaming as she plummeted to the ground. Sasuke's mouth twitched, and he reminded her. Can you avoid flying so high until you've actually learned how to fly? You might end up falling to your death. Fu climbed back onto the deck, rubbing her reddened forehead. She grinned, saying, Don't worry, I'm tough as nails. Just as Fu was about to say something else, her eyes widened as she looked ahead. Huh? Wait, that guy Kisame. Can he fly too? Fu was genuinely shocked. Kisame? Can he fly? Fu's words made both Sasuke and Naruto instinctively turn their heads to where she was looking. Naruto glanced over and immediately spotted Kisame not far away. It was as if Kisame stepped on invisible stairs, propelling himself several meters into the air. Then, with another step on thin air, Kisame ascended even higher, reaching a height of over 10 meters. And he can constantly change his position and direction in midair. This seems to be moonwalk. Uncle Kisame actually learned the moonwalk that Pops taught. Naruto also widened his eyes, his face full of shock. A few months ago, Whitebeard taught all his sons and daughters a special taijutsu. In Naruto's memory, Pops once said that this is a special taijutsu on the sea. They are, instant transmission, moonwalk, tempest kick, kami, finger pistol, iron body. Naruto has also been practicing this taijutsu during this period, but he has never learned it. Unexpectedly, Uncle Kisame took the lead and learned the moonwalk in Marine 6 styles first. Gorara. Silly son, how about it? This move moonwalk is very useful. Whitebeard laughed loudly at Kisame. Kisame stepped on moonwalk and came down from the sky. When he smiled, he showed a mouthful of sharp teeth. Pops, this taijutsu is really convenient. Not only we can walk in the air, but also very fast. Gorara. After all, it's a trick that my old opponents are good at. Your current level is just a beginner. I have seen the old guy Sengoku use moonwalk to jump to a height of several hundred meters, and then slap it down, smashed several mountains. Whitebeard laughed loudly, and the words he said made Kisame a little embarrassed. A slap smashed several mountains. What kind of monsters were Pop's opponents? Sakura, you are weak. On the other side, Ino sat on the sweaty and panting Haruno Sakura's buttocks, and Haruno Sakura was lying on the ground in an embarrassing posture. The corners of Ino's mouth lifted in a triumphant arc. She slapped Sakura's side buttocks with a mischievous smile, causing Sakura to grit her teeth for a moment. But there was nothing that could be done about it. Because she was sitting on top of Ino, she couldn't even roll over. Damn it, it's not that I'm weak, it's that you're progressing too fast, Ino. Sakura couldn't help but complain. We used to be evenly matched when we sparred at the ninja school. But now, I can't even take 2 of your moves. As she said this, Sakura's face couldn't help but darken a bit. Her best friend's progress was too fast, so fast that she could no longer see Ino's back. Sakura even doubted whether Ino could already be considered a genin. How long has it been? Has Ino been away from the village for a year? It seems to be just over half a year, right? That's because I've put in a lot of effort. Ino rolled up her sleeves, and her white forearm was covered with scars and bruises. The strong atmosphere on the Moby Dick was very intense, and even Ino couldn't help but be affected by it. Whenever she saw the family members of the pirate group training hard, Ino couldn't help but join in. For a while, Ino felt like she was going to be tortured to death. Even the thought of her imminent death came up. But as time passed day by day, she found that she had actually persisted. It seems that my Pop's warning was right, women are really scary. The cuter the woman, the scarier she is. Shikamaru glanced at the scars on Ino's body next to him, and he couldn't help but swallow a mouthful of saliva. She's tough on others, and she's tough on herself. In Shikamaru's memory, Didn't seem to be so fierce. Can the environment really change a person so easily? Chaji was munching on chips, and mumbled. Shikamaru, we won't become burden to the Inoshikacho combinations, right? Shikamaru twitched the corner of his mouth. The possibility is indeed quite large. I think that if the two of us go together now, we may not necessarily be Ino's opponents. Chaji really brought up the wrong pot, which made Shikamaru couldn't help but have a sense of urgency to become stronger. It's too shameful for two boys to be a burden in the Inoshikacho combination. Then, Shikamaru couldn't help but look at Lee. He found that Lee, like the people of the Whitebeard Pirates, was also training hard on the ship. Lee, who was sweating profusely, had entered a state of selfless hard training. Even though his hands and feet were trembling from exhaustion. But he was still gritting his teeth and persisting. This scene made Shikamaru couldn't help but mutter. It seems that he is the one who integrated into the atmosphere of the pirate group the fastest. Really? Why are they all working so hard? It's embarrassing for me to want to rest for a while. Shikamaru scratched his head in collapse and complained. Then he reached out and pulled Chaji next to him. Chaji was confused. What's wrong? Shikamaru gritted his teeth. We're going to train too. Chaji. Land of Earth, somewhere. Ha. Found it, the Four Tails Jinchuriki of Hidden Stones Village, Rashi. Maitru Mami had a look of excitement on her face, and she was currently in a restaurant on the second floor of a town in the Land of Earth. Looking down from the window on the second floor, you can see a man who looks exactly like the photo in the information passing by below. Yes, after Maitru Mami handed over the annual fiscal revenue of Hidden Mist Village to the Whitebeard Pirates, she did not return to Hidden Mist Village. Instead, she took a group of Hidden Mist Village ninjas to Hidden Stones Village to search for the whereabouts of the Jinchuriki for the Whitebeard Pirates. This was not Whitebeard's order, but Maitru Mami did it on her own. Because Maitru Mami felt that their Hidden Mist Village needed to show enough value to be appreciated by Whitebeard-sama. In the entire ninja world, there are only two Jinchuriki that are unaccounted for. One of them is the rebel Four Tails Jinchuriki Rashi from Hidden Stones Village, and the other is the rebel from Hidden Mist Village. And that missing tailed beast is the Three Tails that was once killed by Whitebeard-sama. The target that Maitru Mami focused on was Rashi from Hidden Stones Village. With hard work and dedication, after more than 2 months of searching, Maitru Mami finally found the right person. This is the Four Tails Jinchuriki? He's so short, does he look like he's 1.5 meters tall? It seems that he's not even 1.5 meters tall, right? He also has a red beard, and he looks so sloppy. This kind of person might not even get a second glance when passing by. I didn't expect him to be the former Jinchuriki of Hidden Clouds Village. Sitting with Maitru Mami were several ninjas from Hidden Mist Village, but they were disguised to look like a group of merchants. The one who spoke was one of the Hidden Mist Village ninjas. He lowered his voice and continued to say, Maitru Mami-sama, what should we do? Should we notify the Whitebeard Pirates, or should we take action? And take him down? Maitru Mami thought for a moment. She shook her head. Although the water shield is very restraining to that guy, he is a Jinchuriki after all. To be safe, don't act rashly. In case we startle the snake and fail to catch him, but let him run away, that would be troublesome. Maitru Mami decided to let a few people go to notify the Whitebeard Pirates first, and then bring the entire Whitebeard Pirates to hunt the Four Tails. She is the leader of this group of Hidden Mist Village ninjas. Her orders naturally met with no opposition. Land of Rain. Akatsuki. Last night, Itachi Uchiha finally couldn't help but find Zetsu. He learned some secrets from Zetsu's mouth. At that moment, he finally understood that the leader of Akatsuki was actually just a puppet. The real mastermind behind the scenes. Is this person called Zetsu in front of him, and that Madara Uchiha? At the same time, Itachi Uchiha also learned a shocking news from Zetsu's mouth. Madara Uchiha is dead. Yes. Itachi didn't know this information, and even in the entire Akatsuki, only Nagato, Zetsu, and Konan knew this information. Zetsu threw an olive branch to Itachi. He openly wanted Itachi Uchiha to be the successor of Madara Uchiha, and let Itachi inherit Madara's will. Moon's Eye Plan. Infinite Tsukami. Itachi murmured to himself. Let all the people in the ninja world immerse in dreams, and live in a beautiful genjutsu. Chapter 305, Maitru Mami vs. Rashi. The arrival of the Whitebeard Pirates. A few days later, the Moby Dick received 2 visitors. They were 2 ninjas from Hidden Mist Village who were looking for the Whitebeard Pirates. Whitebeard-sama, this is the situation. One of the Hidden Mist Village ninjas bowed his head respectfully to Whitebeard and said. We have already located the exact location of the Four Tails Jinchuriki, and Maitru Mami-sama has been keeping a close eye on that Jinchuriki. There is no Hidden Stones Village ninja protecting the Four Tails Jinchuriki, just him alone. According to the information we have, we know that he is good at lava style. Four Tails Jinchuriki Rashi can combine the chakra of earth and fire into a lava form to attack the enemy. It must be said that Hidden Mist Village's intelligence capability is indeed very good. They must have put a lot of effort to obtain this information. Oh? Whitebeard sat on a large chair at the bow of the Moby Dick, the breeze blowing his crescent beard. Whitebeard smiled. Gorrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrr immediately excited the two Hidden Mist Village ninjas. Did Whitebeard-sama's praise mean that Whitebeard-sama had recognized the ability of Hidden Mist Village? In the future, Whitebeard-sama will definitely value their Hidden Mist Village very much, right? Lead the way. Whitebeard made a decision and issued an order. Whitebeard pirates will be capturing that four tails. Gorura. Yes. Whitebeard-sama. The two Hidden Mist Village ninjas nodded together. Hidden Stones Village. I'll leave my words here. Never let Whitebeard take our Jinchuriki. The third Sushi Kage Oanaki of Hidden Stones Village immediately slammed the table and gritted his teeth, saying firmly, "Our Hidden Stones Village will never bow down to the Whitebeard pirates. Whoever continues to spread such shameful remarks in front of me, don't blame me for being rude. Where is the reason for ninjas to bow to pirates in the ninja world?" Oanaki is confronting several higher-ups elders of Hidden Clouds Village. He has been in power for many years as the third Sushi Kage, and his prestige in the village is very high. The energy of this group of Hidden Stones Village higher-ups elders combined is not as great as his alone. When Oanaki made such a tough decision, the higher-ups elders could only look at each other helplessly. They also didn't have much to say. "Sushi Kage-sama, how should we deal with the powerful Whitebeard pirates?" A higher-ups elder couldn't help but ask. Big villages like Hidden Leaf Village, Hidden Clouds Village, Hidden Mist Village, they all bowed to the Whitebeard pirates. Among them, Hidden Clouds Village was forced to admit that it was a subsidiary ninja village of the Whitebeard pirates, and Hidden Mist Village was even beaten by Whitebeard and became Whitebeard's dog. Faced with such a powerful enemy, how much force does our village need to gather to be able to contend with it? And, there is not only one Whitebeard in the Whitebeard pirates, right? Although their speaking rights are not as good as the third Sushi Kage, they still want to persuade Oanaki not to be so stubborn for the sake of Hidden Stones Village. Yes, a group of higher-ups in Hidden Stones Village had a disagreement. On Oanaki's side, the hardliners believe that ninjas should not bow to pirates, which would be too shameful. Why should they hand over the village's tailed beast and the village's interests to the pirates? Do they, Hidden Stones Village, need the protection of a group of pirates? What a joke, they are one of the 5 major ninja villages. On the other hand, the higher-ups elders in Hidden Stones Village advocate peaceful coexistence with the Whitebeard pirates. After all, the Whitebeard pirates have been making waves in the ninja world for so long. They, more or less, can learn about the style of the Whitebeard pirates and the character of Whitebeard from various news channels. They all know that the Whitebeard pirates are soft but not hard. If Hidden Stones Village welcomes the Whitebeard pirates in a friendly manner, then both sides will naturally be very happy and there will be no conflict. But if they confront the Whitebeard pirates in a tough manner, there will definitely be an unprecedented war between the two sides. At that time, people will definitely die. The village is bound to suffer heavy losses. Hidden Clouds Village is a lesson from the past. It's just that the higher-ups elders didn't expect that Hidden Clouds Village had already explored the way for them, Hidden Stones Village, and the end of Hidden Clouds Village was also obvious. But the Sushi Kage is still so stubborn. In the face of these higher-ups elders' questions, Oanaki snorted coldly. Don't forget. Our Hidden Stones Village has been nurturing and accumulating for several years, and we are not vegetarians. We were once able to kill the third Raikage with tens of thousands of ninjas, why can't we kill Whitebeard with tens of thousands of ninjas now? This is a decision made by me as the third Sushi Kage, you don't need to say anything more. Immediately gather the ninjas in the village, I am going to launch a large-scale military operation against the Whitebeard pirates. Oanaki paused, and continued. If a group of pirates make waves in the land of Earth, how should we explain to the daimyo? We must fight this battle. And it must be fought beautifully. Even if we can't make all the Whitebeard pirates lose in the land of Earth, we must drive those pirates away and scare them. Fight so that they dare not set foot in the land of Earth in their lifetime. After a little while. Maitru Mummy has been secretly staring at Rashi for a long time, and today she suddenly found that this Four Tails Jinchuriki seemed to be preparing to leave this town. Maitru Mummy frowned slightly, and immediately realized that something was not quite right. Whitebeard-sama has not come yet. If this Jinchuriki leaves here, I must follow him to leave. Then how should I meet Whitebeard-sama? She must find a way to keep him here. Maitru Mummy thought about it and there was only one way, use force. She needs to drag the other party here in a tough way. Drag one day is one day, even if forced to startle the snake, Must also be dragged. Matru Mummy followed Rashi secretly to the outskirts of the town. This is a lush forest, there are no civilians around. Water style, hidden mist jutsu. Matru Mummy decisively shot, her hands quickly sealed, and layers of dense fog began to spread around. In less than a few seconds, the visibility within a radius of 100 meters was enveloped by dense fog. The visibility does not exceed 3 meters. Rashi, who was carrying a bunch of luggage, also stopped at this time. He said expressionlessly, "I've been saying for the past half-month that something feels strange. It turns out there's a little mouse following me in the dark. This kind of dense fog. If I'm not mistaken, it should be the hidden mist jutsu of Hidden Mist Village, right? Am I just being targeted by you guys from Hidden Mist Village?" Rashi was not flustered at all. After all, he was a four-tails Jinchuriki and a formidable ninja himself. In the vast ninja world, he could be considered to have stepped into the threshold of Kage level. The voice of Matru Mummy seemed to come from all directions, making it impossible to discern her exact location. "You can't just leave so easily. TSK. I've been tracking you for so long, if you just leave casually, wouldn't all my previous efforts be wasted?" Rashi's thick red eyebrows furrowed slightly. He could tell that this was a woman's voice, and she should be in her 20s. "Little girl, it's a bit exaggerated for you to want to stop me by yourself, isn't it?" Rashi snorted coldly. "I don't show mercy to women, there are quite a few female ninjas who have died in my hands." Despite Rashi's current appearance as an ascetic monk, before he left Hidden Stone's village, he was a well-known ninja in the village. He was once a terrifying killer on the battlefield. "Who can't talk big, red-haired uncle?" Matru Mummy's lipsticked mouth curled up. "I even said that I could capture you before Whitebeard-sama arrives." "Whitebeard-sama?" Rashi's face changed. "You are from the Whitebeard Pirates?" "No, I remember, you guys from Hidden Mist Village are originally the dogs of the Whitebeard Pirates." Just as his words fell, suddenly a shadow appeared behind Rashi. It turned out that Matru Mummy took advantage of this opportunity, holding a kunai, and launched a surprise attack with the Hidden Mist Village teleportation jutsu. The kunai stabbed towards Rashi's back heart. Matru Mummy was naturally proficient in Hidden Mist Village's silent assassination technique. But at this moment, Rashi's body suddenly surged with intense heat. Clusters of material like magma gushed out from the surface of his skin, almost enveloping his whole body in an instant. The kunai was directly melted into molten iron at the moment it collided with his back heart, slowly dripping onto the ground. Matru Mummy's pupils shrank, she quickly let go, and jumped back quickly, pulling away from Rashi. Even in the dense fog, Rashi, who was covered in magma, was still so conspicuous, like a big light bulb in the fog. Rashi's voice echoed in the fog. "Don't blame me for not reminding you, this is my best lava-style chakra mode. Lava-style, scorching stream flame technique." Rashi spat out one magma ball after another towards the direction where Matru Mummy had just attacked. Each magma ball had a diameter of more than 1 meter, and where the magma ball passed, even the fog around it was completely evaporated. Matru Mummy's figure also appeared in Rashi's field of vision. Water style, water dragon bullet technique. Matru Mummy remained calm, her hands quickly formed seals, and she spat out a huge water dragon from her mouth. The huge water dragon collided with the magma balls one after another, and the steam that erupted was no less than another Hidden Mist Village technique. Water style, great waterfall technique. Matru Mummy didn't stop her actions, and the rolling water surged towards Rashi like a raging flood. The real battle between the two was about to start. Matru Mummy knew that she was not a match for the Jinchuriki at present, but she could restrain the lava style with her water style. Even if she couldn't beat the Jinchuriki, she could run and drag the other party. With such a thought in mind, Matru Mummy went straight ahead. The magma and water flow collided violently time and time again, not only igniting a raging fire in the dense forest, but also causing a flood in this place. The noise of the ninjutsu collision between the two was not ordinary. As time passed by every minute and every second, Rashi found that this Whitebeard pirate's dog from Hidden Mist Village was not ordinary. He couldn't shake off this woman for a while when he was using lava style. And this woman is not simple, she actually has 2 KK Genkai. When he saw Matru Mummy spit out a large amount of special mucus, Rashi quickly jumped back to avoid it. The mucus fell on the ground, and even the soil was corroded into large pits. The next moment, Matru Mummy spat out a bunch of steam, which was even stronger than the corrosive mucus, and even the chakra could evaporate. "It's a bit outrageous. To send such a character to track me, it's really a big deal." Rashi's eyelids jumped. "In that case, 4 tails." As a Jinchuriki, he decisively borrowed the power of the tailed beast. A long tail appeared behind Rashi. With the power of the tailed beast's chakra, his body was surrounded by a layer of magma, which seemed to be even higher than the previous temperature. Lava style, Subterranean heat needle. Boom. The ground under Roshi's feet was instantly crushed, and his speed was several times faster than before, and he appeared in front of Matru Mummy in the blink of an eye. His right arm, like a long spear, stabbed at Matru Mummy in an instant, causing Matru Mummy's pupils to shrink. Fast. Too fast. Matru Mummy only had time to lean back quickly, but her raised hair was still brushed by the other's arm. A handful of Matru Mummy's long hair was directly burned off by half. Lava style, scorching stream flame. Roshi then spat out a ball of magma. The rolling magma was like a mudslide, rushing towards Matru Mummy. Water style, reverse water imprisonment technique. Matru Mummy's body was enveloped by a circle of water flow, and the magma came into contact with the water flow, and was directly extinguished by the water flow. But the high temperature of the magma also made the water flow around Matru Mummy extremely hot, and Matru Mummy's skin was scorched red. The pain made her grit her teeth. Just then, a barely audible voice came from afar. Water style, water dragon bullet technique. Roshi. The sound of water style coming from another direction made Roshi quickly turn his head to look. He saw a huge shark in the form of a water flow, breaking through the trees and rushing towards this side. This made Roshi have to give up chasing Matru Mummy. He quickly dodged the ninjutsu of the unfamiliar water-style ninja in the dark. Who is it? Roshi shouted. TSK, a Jinchuriki, a tailed beast. One person and one beast, 2 against 1, it's a bit unfair, isn't it? A familiar voice made Matru Mummy widen her eyes. Matru Mummy, too, was enduring the pain and quickly looked in that direction. Hoshigaki Kisame? As a former colleague at Hidden Mist Village, Matru Mummy naturally recognized Hoshigaki Kisame's voice. Is this lava style? Kakashi's voice also rang out from the other side. It feels like close combat with this Jinchuriki won't give us any advantage. The Whitebeard Pirates make their entrance. Chapter 306, Instant Kill. You're far from that little lava demon. At this moment, Roshi noticed that the vicinity was enveloped by a huge shadow. He immediately turned around vigilantly and looked back. His pupils contracted sharply, and he looked incredulously at the huge object in front of him. In his line of sight, a huge ship had somehow stopped 200 meters ahead. He hadn't noticed the appearance of this big ship. It must have been because of the battle with the female ninja from Hidden Mist Village just now that he couldn't distract himself to observe other movements. Roshi also saw the huge pirate flag hanging on one of the masts of the big ship. Even as a wandering ninja, he could recognize that it was the pirate flag of the Whitebeard Pirates. After all, the Whitebeard Pirates' fame in the ninja world has been outrageous in recent years. Not to mention him, a former Jinchuriki of Hidden Stones Village, even non-ninja civilians have heard of the Whitebeard Pirates. One after another, the sound of breaking through the air came, but it was not someone attacking Roshi, but one person after another rushing over. Roshi's face was solemn, and his gaze was fixed on his surroundings. At this moment, he saw one familiar face after another. Those people's faces were basically hung up in the intelligence departments of the major ninja villages, so it was not surprising that Roshi could recognize them. Hoshigaki Kisame, Kakashi Hatake, and Shizue Uchiha. Especially these 3 people, Roshi recognized them at a glance. He was even clearer that these 3 people had long joined the Whitebeard Pirates. They were no longer ninjas, but pirates. There are also a few unknown brats. And an unknown woman. Roshi looked at Naruto, Sasuke, Izumi, and Conan on the other side again. At present, apart from Whitebeard, only this group of people in the Whitebeard Pirates is qualified to fight a Jinchuriki. As for Tsunade, Orochimaru, Shizune, Sasori, these few are not considered crew members of the Whitebeard Pirates. They are either captives or followers. Phew. Whitebeard-sama and the others are here. Matru Mummy also couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief at this time, because she knew that if she continued to fight the Four Tails Jinchuriki, at most another half an hour, she might have to admit defeat. The power of the tailed beasts is not a joke. Although the Four Tails Jinchuriki Roshi in front of her may not be a perfect Jinchuriki. But even if Roshi can only activate half of the tailed beast transformation, it is enough to suppress Matru Mummy and eventually defeat her. Is that woman Whitebeard-sama's newly adopted daughter? How come I haven't seen her before? Matru Mummy's attention was quickly attracted by Conan. Conan, as if sensing something, also looked at Matru Mummy, and the eyes of the 2 women of similar age met in midair. This person seems to be Matru Mummy from Hidden Mist Village. As a core member of the Akatsuki's higher-ups, Conan naturally has a lot of information. She remembers all the famous ninjas from the major ninja villages. Conan murmured softly. I didn't expect Hidden Mist Village, which was defeated by Whitebeard, to be so loyal to him. Hidden Mist Village has no hatred for the Whitebeard Pirates at all, but instead is desperate to perform in front of Whitebeard. This is not good news for the Akatsuki organization. This means, if the Akatsuki and the Whitebeard pirates go to war, then Hidden Mist Village will definitely help the Whitebeard pirates. Even if Hidden Mist Village has been tormented by the Blood Mist policy, it is still one of the 5 great ninja villages. It still has some foundation. And some strength. Gorrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrr smell from far away. There's a lava imp on the sea, and I didn't expect there to be a lava imp in the ninja world too. Grrrr, what a coincidence. With the sound of Whitebeard's voice, his figure slowly appeared. Whitebeard was seen holding a Murakamagiri, wearing a white cloak, with the symbol of the Whitebeard pirates embroidered on the back of the cloak. The upper half of Whitebeard's body was bare except for the cloak, revealing his muscular body and ferocious scars. The smile on his face was intriguing, and his scrutinizing gaze fell on the Four-Tails Jinchuriki, Rashi. Just a simple look from Whitebeard put tremendous pressure on Rashi. Cold sweat broke out on Rashi's forehead. But in the blink of an eye, the cold sweat was evaporated by the hot lava wrapped around his body. He realized that he seemed to be surrounded by the Whitebeard pirates. There was no way out in any direction. The female ninja from Hidden Mist Village indeed wanted to trap him here and wait for the arrival of the Whitebeard pirates. It's a bit tricky. Four-Tails, we're going to have a tough fight next. Rashi's character is even more stubborn than Oanaki's. He would never surrender to the Whitebeard pirates, he would only want to use his own power to fight his way out. Human, that big guy is not simple. The Four-Tails, Son Goku, spoke up, referring to Whitebeard. That man gives me a strong sense of threat. Just like Madara Uchiha and Senju Hashirama back in the day. And that blonde kid, and that black-haired kid, that white-haired masked man. Son Goku paused, then continued. They are all Jinchuriki, just like you. The blonde kid is the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki, the black-haired kid is the Two-Tails Jinchuriki, and the white-haired masked man is the Eight-Tails Jinchuriki. There's also a Seven-Tails Jinchuriki on that ship. Rashi? Although Rashi's relationship with the Four-Tails is not that harmonious, at this critical moment, he knows that the Four-Tails has no reason to play such an unnecessary joke with him. That is to say, the Whitebeard pirates have 4 Jinchuriki. Wait a minute, aren't the Two-Tails and Eight-Tails Jinchuriki from Hidden Cloud's village? If he remembers correctly, the Two-Tails Jinchuriki should be a woman named Yujito, and the Eight-Tails Jinchuriki is a man named Killer Bee. Could it be? The Whitebeard pirates possess a special ninjutsu that can transfer tailed beasts? Rashi couldn't help but take a deep breath. No wonder they're hunting Jinchuriki all over the ninja world. This is bad, we're in big trouble. Suppressing the unease in his heart, Rashi lifted his head to meet Whitebeard's gaze. However, upon this exchange of glances, he noticed that in the eyes of the man called Whitebeard, there was an occasional flicker of a subtle chill. Rashi was taken aback. What was going on? Today should be the first time he's seen Whitebeard in person, right? But why did it feel like Whitebeard's gaze on him was a bit off? The next second, Whitebeard's voice cleared up his confusion. Four-Tails brat. You remind me of a very annoying lava imp. Recalling the scenes from the war at the summit, Whitebeard felt a faint pain in his chest and face. His hidden illness was indeed gone, but this was a peculiar phantom pain. Whitebeard's retracted smile surfaced again, but there's no helping it, after all, time spares no one. Grrrr. But the next time I see that lava imp, he won't be able to act so arrogantly. As he spoke, Whitebeard seemed to reminisce about the past. He thought of Ace, who was killed by Akainu, the successful plot of Blackbeard, the scheming Sengoku who ended up being outsmarted by Blackbeard, and the foolish sons of the past. Just as Whitebeard was lost in reminiscence, Rashi's eyes suddenly hardened, thinking he had caught a good opportunity. Now that he was surrounded by the Whitebeard pirates, the only way to break through the encirclement was to defeat the strongest person, thus intimidating the other pirates. Seeing Whitebeard in a daze, Rashi thought he had caught a flaw. There's a flaw. Four-Tails. In an instant, Rashi directly activated his half-tailed beast transformation. Even in the state of half-tailed beast transformation, the lava on his body did not dissipate. He charged towards Whitebeard, who had revealed a flaw, in a beast-like posture with all 4 limbs on the ground. During the charge, the lava on his body kept rolling. Under the blessing of the tailed beast chakra, the rolling lava twisted the air with its heat. Rashi was confident that under the temperature of the lava, his strike could pierce a large hole in Whitebeard's flesh and blood. Four-Tails brat, do you know what happened to the last person who said I had a flaw? Whitebeard quickly came back to his senses from his reminiscence, facing Rashi who had already charged to within an arm's reach. There was not a trace of worry on Whitebeard's face. Whitebeard's right hand was covered with a layer of armament hockey, and on the outside, there was also a layer of white vibration waves. Like catching a small dog, he reached out to grab Rashi. Rashi's charge was fast, But Whitebeard's speed was even faster. Just as Rashi was about to hit Whitebeard's torso, Whitebeard's fingers had already gripped Rashi's head. And with one move, he heavily pressed Rashi into the ground. Bang! With a loud bang, the ground beneath trembled, and Rashi's entire head in half-tailed beast transformation was buried in the soil, with cracks spreading all around. Rashi, who had hastily taken Whitebeard's hit, was a bit dazed. Gorara! You're far from that lava imp. If that lava imp's lava is like a volcanic eruption, you little impart most boiling hot water. If you don't have the ability, don't try to light my birthday candle with lava like that lava imp. Four-tails brat. The smile on Whitebeard's face suddenly became a bit ferocious. Accompanied by a hum, the power of the quake fruit was instantly activated, and the vibrating light wave on his right palm trembled wildly. Rashi's brain was momentarily stunned, and white cracks spread in all directions. Rashi's tailed beast chakra coat was also constantly rippling under the vibration power of Whitebeard, and even cracks had appeared in the tailed beast coat. Under the brutal ravages of this terrifying vibration power, Rashi's half-tailed beast transformation couldn't hold on for 3 seconds. The layer of tailed beast coat on his body instantly disintegrated, and the vibration power began to affect his body, knocking him unconscious on the spot. Rashi vomited a mouthful of blood, his eyes rolling wildly upwards, blood unconsciously spurted from his nostrils and ears, and the clothes on his body were shaken into dust. At this moment, Rashi's limbs were weakly drooping. He who had just caught Whitebeard's flaw was now completely unconscious. He could still be alive, simply because if he was killed, the tailed beast would also be gone. After all, when a Jinchuriki dies, the tailed beast also dies. Waiting for the tailed beast to resurrect next time, it would be a few years at the shortest, and more than a decade at the longest. Whitebeard couldn't be bothered to wait that long. Who would have thought that Rashi could save his life, also thanks to the tailed beast inside him? Inside the ceiling space, the Four Tails, Son Goku, was dumbfounded as it watched this scene. It didn't expect its Jinchuriki to be so useless. Or rather, it didn't expect this big guy called Whitebeard to be so outrageous. Is this a power that humans can possess? If it was told that this was a humanoid-tailed beast, it would think that maybe Whitebeard really was its kind. It had already lent so much power to Rashi. Plus Rashi's own lava style. As a result, he couldn't even take a single move under Whitebeard? That's too miserable. That's outrageous. It seems I understand why the Two Tails just told me to try not to resist. Son Goku muttered. If it let Rashi enter the full-tailed beast transformation, the one who would be beaten up would not be Rashi, but Son Goku itself. Thinking of this, Son Goku suddenly shivered. It also understood a bit why the other tailed beasts would be so honest on the side of the Whitebeard pirates. Including the Nine Tails guy, who was also honest to the point that it couldn't believe it. After all, in the impression of the Four Tails, the Nine Tails character was the worst. Even the Nine Tails had to be honest. You can imagine how fierce Whitebeard is. Is it over? Maitru Mummy stared in disbelief at Rashi, who was picked up by Whitebeard-sama with one hand. In her line of sight, Rashi was covered in blood from head to toe, his clothes had long disappeared, and he was in a state of unconsciousness. Is this the Rashi who has been fighting her until now and almost defeated her? Is this the Four Tails Jinchuriki of Hidden Stones Village? If you didn't know, you might think he was a weak gain-in. But in front of Whitebeard-sama, maybe the other party really is about the same as a gain-in? Gulp Maitru Mummy swallowed hard, feeling more and more the power of Whitebeard. She increasingly believed that the decision of the village leader was simply the salvation of Hidden Mist Village. As long as Hidden Mist Village clings to the Whitebeard pirates, why worry about Hidden Mist Village not being able to restore its peak strength? No matter how many times you see this power, it's always shocking. Conan sighed softly. Another tailed beast has slipped through Akatsuki's fingers. The key is. Conan's eyes were filled with incredulity. Whitebeard said a while ago that he could still get stronger. Whitebeard, who is already in his 70s, is so outrageously strong, and he claims he can still be stronger. What a joke. Ha, it's over? Kisame, carrying Samada, was somewhat lackluster. I thought I could have a fight with this lava man, but he couldn't even take one move from Pops. This guy is not as good as the fourth Mizukage of Hidden Mist Village. Kakashi twitched at the corner of his mouth. Who in the entire ninja world has the ability to take Pop's angry blow without dodging? Chapter 307, The New Four Tails Jinchuriki. Hidden Stones Village is close at hand. When Rashi woke up again, he found that he had not been captured by the Whitebeard pirates. He was lying in a very embarrassing posture in the wilderness. He felt unbearable pain all over his body. He also faintly smelled a scent of disinfectant on his body, which made him stunned. He struggled to get up and leaned against a rock behind him. Looking down, he could see that his whole body was wrapped in bandages. That is to say, During the time he was unconscious, someone had simply treated his wounds to prevent him from dying in the wilderness. But who did this? Was it the Whitebeard pirates? When this doubt flashed through his mind, Rashi suddenly widened his eyes. Right. The Whitebeard pirates. He quickly looked around and found that the exaggerated big ship had disappeared. For a moment, he doubted whether everything he had experienced was an illusion. But the surrounding scene told him that it was not an illusion. Because the mess all around showed that there had been a big battle here. The air was still filled with a faint smell of sulfur. For Rashi, who possesses lava style, this smell is not unfamiliar. Because whenever he uses lava style, this smell will permeate the surroundings. This is the unique smell of lava. I didn't expect. I couldn't even take one move from Whitebeard. That man is outrageously strong. Rashi had a bitter smile on his face. He had naively thought that he had caught Whitebeard's flaw, but who would have thought that it was not a flaw at all? Do they want to catch me not to hunt the tailed beasts? Why are they gone? They even threw me here. Don't they want the tailed beasts? One after another, doubts flashed through Rashi's mind, and he couldn't help but seek answers from the four tails inside his body. Four tails, what happened during the time I was unconscious? But to his surprise, the four tails inside his body did not answer his question, and the surrounding air was silent. At this moment, Rashi had a vague sense of something wrong. Four tails? Can you hear me? Rashi was shocked. He hurriedly tried to enter the tailed beast's ceiling space with his consciousness. But the next second he found there was no such thing as a ceiling space in his body. Rashi's eyes were wide open. Damn, the ceiling space is gone, the four tails is gone. He finally understood why the Whitebeard pirates would leave him here. It turns out that his tailed beast has been completely squeezed out by the Whitebeard pirates. Before they left him here, they even gave him some simple treatment. Perhaps this was the last kindness of these pirates. But when the tailed beast is stripped from the Jinchuriki, doesn't the Jinchuriki die? Why am I still alive? Rashi was very confused. He felt that his experiences over the past 2 days were very surreal. This means that he is no longer the Four Tails Jinchuriki. The Four Tails, Son Goku, inside him, already has a new Jinchuriki. Is this my fate? Rashi struggled to get up with a bitter smile. Perhaps, it's good that I'm still alive. Having hovered on the line of life and death, even someone as stubborn as him felt a bit lost. Meanwhile, on the Moby Dick. Just as Rashi had guessed, the Four Tails Jinchuriki had been replaced by someone else yesterday. During the process of transferring the tailed beast, Rashi was always unconscious, so he didn't know what happened from beginning to end. He didn't even know who the new Jinchuriki was. The Four Tails, Son Goku, is best at super strength, lava style, earth style, and the tailed beast bomb that all tailed beasts can use. Matatabi said to Sasuke, so, choosing someone from the Uchiha clan as the Four Tails Jinchuriki is the right choice. A very mini two tails, Matatabi, was lying on Sasuke's shoulder, its two tails gently swaying. It looked at Shisui in front. This young man can activate the Uchiha clan's Susanoo, which means he once had a pair of Mangekyo Sharingan. An Uchiha who can awaken the Mangekyo, means his talent is not low. He is very suitable to be a Jinchuriki. The Uchiha clan's fire style and lava style are both mainly high temperature damage. They are actually quite compatible. Sasuke nodded thoughtfully, looking like he understood. Naruto, who was standing next to Sasuke, curiously looked at the mini version of the two tails, and couldn't help but say to the nine tails inside him, Big Fox, can you appear like this too? Kurama rolled his eyes, you little brat, just peel off the seal sticker. The tone of the nine tails was a bit tempting. Naruto immediately lost interest. Forget it, I'm afraid you'll come out and make a mess secretly, you don't look very honest. Kurama gritted his teeth in anger, stinky brat, who are you looking down on? The girl standing on Sasuke's right side was excited. Will our Whitebeard pirates soon have 9 Jinchuriki? Naruto grinned, of course. Me, Sasuke, Uncle Kakashi, you, Shisui, we already have 5 Jinchuriki now. Add 4 more, and we'll be completely gathered. Yes, the new Jinchuriki in the Whitebeard pirates is indeed Shisui Uchiha. This was also a Jinchuriki candidate decided after a period of discussion within the pirate group. Because Shisui lost both of his Mangekyo Sharingan, his strength was greatly reduced, from Kage level strength to only elite Jonin level. Even with the aid of observation haki, even if he has faintly touched the threshold of armament haki, it is not so easy to step into the Kage level again. Just right. Now there is a tailed beast that is very suitable for Shisui, that is the Four Tails, Son Goku. There is no conflict between the Uchiha clan's fire style and the Four Tails lava style. The massive chakra of the Four Tails can also make up for the lack of Shisui's chakra, allowing Shisui to open Susanoo without considering the consumption. Once Shisui can control the Four Tails, Son Goku, inside him, It means that he, Shizue Uchiha, will once again step into the Kage level threshold. Even among the Kage level, he is not a weak existence. Big brother Shizue, how do you feel? Izumi Uchiha curiously looked up and down at Shizue. Is there anything different after becoming a Jinchuriki? Shizue silently felt his own body. He shook his head. Except for an extra-tailed beast sealing space inside my body, there's no other change. But that's not right. Shizue suddenly felt something. He said, my observation haki seems to have been amplified. Shizue speculated, this might be the unique malicious perception of the tailed beast and the Jinchuriki, integrated with my observation haki, ultimately enhancing the level of my observation haki. At this moment, the Moby Dick is sailing in a certain direction. That direction is where Hidden Stones Village is located. Meanwhile, hundreds of kilometers away, in Hidden Stones Village. Sushi Kage-sama, according to our Anbu's analysis some time ago, the Whitebeard pirates were clearly going to approach Hidden Stones Village today. But for some reason, there's no trace of them near Hidden Stones Village. It's as if they're not coming for us. An Anbu ninja from Hidden Stones Village was reporting some situations they had grasped to the third Sushi Kage, Oenaki. We were secretly watching the people of the Whitebeard pirates. It seems that the Whitebeard pirates discovered us. He has not sent back any news. The Anbu ninja paused, and continued, there's a high probability that it's bad news. Oenaki, who was short and even less than 1.4 meters tall, was sitting on a high chair. With a frown on his old face, Oenaki said in a deep voice, so we've lost the trace of the pirate group? Yes, Sushi Kage-sama. The Anbu ninja responded. Oenaki slowly took a deep breath. He was trying to think. If the Whitebeard pirates didn't come straight for their Hidden Stones Village, where did they go some time ago? Just then, a light flashed through Oenaki's mind. He suddenly stood up directly from the chair. But due to his height disadvantage, he could only stand on the seat. Rashi. Oenaki gritted his teeth, damn it. The tailed beast Jinchuriki that the Whitebeard pirates targeted was not Han, but Rashi. As everyone knows, Hidden Stones Village has 2 Jinchuriki, but one of the Jinchuriki has already left the village. Even Oenaki didn't know where Rashi had gone. Under such circumstances, would the Whitebeard pirates know Rashi's specific location? Although the probability is low, it does not mean that the probability is completely zero. Plus the Whitebeard pirates have been missing for some time, there's a high probability they really went to catch Rashi. Bastard. Oenaki was in a bad mood. Rashi is alone, he can't possibly be a match for the Whitebeard pirates. Oenaki has never underestimated the Whitebeard pirates. Otherwise, he wouldn't want to resist the upcoming Whitebeard pirates with the power of the whole village. If Rashi also falls into the hands of the Whitebeard pirates, then the Whitebeard pirates will gain the power of another tailed beast. In this way, the balance of victory will tilt towards the Whitebeard pirates. Oenaki tries hard to put aside the not-so-good thoughts in his mind. Phew. He let out a heavy sigh, asking the Anbu ninja in front of him, have all the traps around the entire village been set up? The Anbu ninja bowed his head and answered, Sushi Kage-sama, 95% have been set up, and the remaining 5% is estimated to be completed today. Good. Oenaki said, let's see if we can fight the Whitebeard pirates with the geographical advantage of Hidden Stones Village. Hidden Stones Village indeed has a strong geographical advantage because it is located in a group of rugged mountains, which makes the geographical location of Hidden Stones Village a bit isolated from the world. For the Whitebeard pirates' huge ship to charge directly into Hidden Stones Village, even if the ship can sail on land, it is not an easy task. And Hidden Stones Village have set up one deadly trap after another in the various rugged terrains nearby. Oenaki believes that these traps may not be enough to annihilate the entire Whitebeard pirates. But if it can reduce a large number of combat personnel for the other side, Oenaki is still confident. The battle experience in Oenaki's mind all comes from the battle experience in the ninja world. In the past several ninja wars, geographical advantage basically dominated a war. Oenaki's worst plan is also, even if it is impossible to annihilate the Whitebeard pirates, it can also block the other side and cause heavy damage to the Whitebeard pirates. Order the civilians in the village to move to the refuge on the back mountain. Oenaki said solemnly, all other people, including Jonin, Gainin, Chunin. All ninjas, all organized to confront the imminent crisis. The total number of ninjas in Hidden Stones Village is much more than that of Hidden Clouds Village, not to mention that Oenaki has called up all the Gainin. The entire Hidden Stones Village actually assembled a total of 12,000 ninjas. This also shows that the loss of the Third Ninja War, after a few years of recuperation, Hidden Stones Village has recovered most of it. The atmosphere of the entire village has become very depressed. Everyone can feel a layer of war clouds enveloping the entire village. In the blink of an eye, another 10 days passed. The continuous masochistic special training of Whitebeard sons and daughters has yielded very good results. Among them, Shishui has learned armament hockey. Although it is just a beginner's level, it is enough to take his strength to the next level. With his observation hockey, Shishui now has dual-color hockey. Kakashi and Kisame have successively learned observation hockey. The interval between the two is no more than 1 day. Sasuke has learned Marine 6 Styles Instant Transmission. Naruto has learned Marine 6 Styles Instant Transmission. Tempest Kick. Hinata's taijutsu has improved very quickly. She can now draw with Neji. This rate of progress makes Neji dumbfounded. Could it be that Miss Hinata's talent is so high after she is full? With the blessing of Kagura's mind's eye, Karen's observation hockey level has surpassed Naruto. Izumi Uchiha is special. Other crew members all learn observation hockey first, then learn armament hockey. The first thing she learned was actually armament hockey. Ino, Haku, Neji, Kimimaro, Faashi, and others have also made significant progress. It's as if the new Whitebeard pirates have taken another step up. On this day, the Whitebeard pirates all stopped their special training. Because according to the route on the map, they are very close to Hidden Stone's village. Kid, Hidden Stone's village is not weak. Their comprehensive strength is even above Hidden Cloud's village. The third Raikage of Hidden Cloud's village was killed after fighting 10.000 Hidden Stone's village ninjas. Tsunade, with her legs crossed, casually said to Naruto, "If you're willing to lend me some money, I wouldn't mind helping you guys out next." Tsunade has been itching to gamble lately. But she's a bit short on cash, so she needs to think of a way to make some money. So, Tsunade set her sights on the small treasury of the Whitebeard pirates. Robbing is impossible, she doesn't have the ability to rob. Hee, why not have me in? I'm very interested in a secret technique of Hidden Stone's village. Don't worry, I won't run away. Orochimaru chimed in. Chapter 308, The Collision of the Tail Beast Bomb. Let's talk in the way of pirates. Hidden Stone's village is completely surrounded by rocks and mountains, and only a few treacherous gorges can enter the village. And in those few gorges, the third Tsuchikage, Oinaki, also sent people to set up one trap after another. As long as the Whitebeard pirates dare to enter Hidden Stone's village from those gorges, they will have to suffer a series of trap attacks before they set foot in Hidden Stone's village. It's guaranteed to cause heavy damage to the Whitebeard pirates. Maybe it could even make their big ship capsize directly. The rugged terrain of Hidden Stone's village, even the Whitebeard pirates outside, can see clearly. Gorrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrr suitable as a temporary base for the pirate group. Whitebeard, who has experienced one battle after another on the sea, naturally knows that this village has a very high geographical advantage. If he just lets his bunch of idiot sons run to attack this village, it would definitely be very difficult. And Whitebeard's observation hockey also vaguely feels that something is not quite right. His smile on his face is even more hearty and heroic, without a trace of worry. They probably knew we were coming and set up traps in advance. Gorrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrr The comprehensive strength of Hidden Stone's village is not weaker than Hidden Cloud's village, and especially their current Sushi Kage, Oinaki, he has a very tricky particle style. Although I haven't fought him, I've heard that no one in the ninja world dares to touch his particle style. Once his particle style is touched, the whole person will disintegrate. Oh? Whitebeard raised his eyebrows, although a bit surprised, but not worried. After all, in Whitebeard's eyes, this strange particle style is similar to those special devil fruits, right? There are many strange devil fruit abilities on the sea. If you are a little careless in the face of these devil fruit users, even the most powerful sea power may capsize in the gutter. Conan frowned slightly and said, Captain Whitebeard, this angle is not good for entering Hidden Stone's village. The straight passage ahead, our big ship, can't get through. Gorrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrr Kakashi. Silly son, make way for Moby Dick. Just use your tail beast bomb. Kakashi was taken aback. He didn't expect Pop's method to be so simple and straightforward. But this method is indeed very practical. Just use the tailed beast bomb to open the way. No matter how dangerous the terrain is, it is like a cloud. Even more traps are nothing but dust. Kakashi took a deep breath and asked Juki in the sealed space. Juki, can you help? Juki chattered about his needs. 20 adult novels. Kakashi twitched the corner of his mouth. I can't read so many. 10, no more. Deal. When Juki's voice fell, a surge of chakra from the tailed beast rushed into Kakashi's body. He also did not hesitate to directly activate the semi-beastification state. Kakashi's body was surrounded by a layer of tailed beast chakra. And the tailed beast Chakra had completely rewritten his human characteristics. So much so that Kakashi is now in a beast-like posture lying on the ground. His body size has also grown several times, as big as a rhinoceros. A full 8 tails are constantly swinging behind Kakashi. Waves of airwaves spread from his body to the surroundings. At the same time, Hidden Stone's village. Hurry up. The Whitebeard pirates are here. Moby Dick is here. Gather quickly. Sushi Kage-sama has orders. All Hidden Stone's village ninjas, gather all. Welcome the enemy. Quickly ring the highest enemy alarm in the village. Quickly use the broadcast to notify everyone, the Whitebeard pirates are here. The pirates are just outside the strait to the east. Are there any civilians who haven't had time to hide in the shelter? All non-ninja civilians hurry up and hide in the shelter. Don't dawdle, the war is coming. Hurry up. All ninjas, immediately check if the ninja tools carried on your body are complete. The medical team also needs to be ready quickly. Anbu squad listen to the order. When the pirates invade, go around to the back of the Whitebeard pirates and ambush the Whitebeard pirates. The pirates are here, the Whitebeard pirates are here. Gather. Gather the whole village. If Hidden Stone's village is a lake without any waves, then the Whitebeard pirates are a meteorite falling from the sky, hitting this lake heavily. The splashing water is tens of thousands of meters high, startling everyone in the village. A sense of tension and panic began to spread in the village. Even Hidden Stone's village, which has little contact with the outside world, has heard more or less about the Whitebeard pirates. Even civilians know how powerful this pirate group is. The war clouds hanging over Hidden Stone's village made everyone sweat with tension. The last time they reacted so violently, it was during the Third Ninja World War. At this moment, Oinaki had already brought a group of people to the top of a rocky mountain. From this position, even without the aid of a telescope, one could see the distant Moby Dick. Because that ship is just too big. Oinaki, with his hands behind his back, his old face full of seriousness, said, "If you and I join forces to fight Whitebeard, Han, how confident are you?" He was speaking to a Hidden Stone's village ninja next to him. Han is the 5 tails Jinchuriki of Hidden Stone's village, very tall, looking to be over 2 meters high. He wore a straw hat on his head, a mask on his face, and a suit of armor on his body. His attire was predominantly red. If Sushi Kage-sama's particle style can hit Whitebeard, the odds are about 90%. If it can't hit, the odds are about 50%. Han spoke without any fluctuations in his tone. That's just his character, no matter what situation he encounters, even if he encounters a life-and-death crisis, he is always calm. Oinaki took a deep breath. From Han's words, he could tell that Han's real confidence was not high. After all, any fool knows that as long as particle style hits Whitebeard, then Hidden Stone's village's chances of winning are great. A voice came from the side, "Father, there's more than one Whitebeard in the Whitebeard pirates, be extra careful." The person speaking was the son of the 3rd Sushi Kage, Kitsuchi. Oinaki nodded slightly. But just then, Oinaki suddenly had a very bad premonition. He didn't know where this premonition came from. And the Jinchuriki Han, who was standing next to Oinaki, his calm eyes suddenly widened a bit, and immediately opened his mouth to remind, "Sushi Kage-sama. There's a Jinchuriki on the Whitebeard pirates' side, who wants to use the tail beast bomb." Oinaki? Kitsuchi? This father and son were stunned on the spot by this sentence. Tailed beast bomb? What a joke. The Whitebeard pirates want to use the tailed beast bomb to pave the way? Did they know in advance that Hidden Stone's village had set up traps here? This tailed beast bomb will be very powerful. Han instantly entered a half-tailed beast transformation, and the 5 tails behind him kept shaking and tumbling. The tailed beast coat enveloped his body, and his body was also covered with layers of hot steam. Han, like a beast, lay on the ground with all 4 limbs, immediately opened his big mouth, and aimed at the distant Moby Dick. The rolling-tailed beast chakra crazily poured into his mouth,